regime of personality cult. Now, what do I mean by personality cult? If you understand that democracy has no place for heroes. Democracy does not contemplate heroes. Democracy makes all of us heroes. Dictatorship, totalitarianism plays up heroes because in engaging in a dictatorship, military rule, tyrannical rule, dictatorial rule, you need what is called courage. Is that not so? So we need to celebrate Gani Fawemi. Is that not so? We need to celebrate somebody called Femi Falana. Is that not so? Because we are told that they are courageous. Is that not so? They spoke truth to power. Is that not so? So there is an exaltation of heroes. So when we transited from dictatorship to civil rule, we are still young people who are in search of heroes. And there are people among us who have taken advantage of that and reduce your own capacity to engage. You have outsourced your power that he talked about to some people who are courageous. And most of all of that is noise, not impact. So what is impact? You live in 4 communities. You remember, every young person, every citizen lives in 4 communities. The community where you are born, right? Hello, are we together? So there is a community, all of us are born, we are indigenous, natives of somewhere. So we belong to that community. We belong to the community of where we reside. We belong to the community of where we work. And we belong to the community of affectation. I will explain all of this. Whether you like it or not, in Nigeria, what happens is that when people, no matter where they live, when they die, the tendency is for them to be taken to where they are born to be buried. When General Sani Abacha died, he had to be taken to where? To Kano. Many other people died. They eventually, no matter where they die, whether in Europe or America or Canada, they bring them back to the community of their birth. So when I'm talking about impact, you have the need of this impact. Are you making impact? As you look to 2023, do you make impact in the community of your birth? Do people know you? Do you live on social media? Are you a citizen of cyberspace? Where you are born, do people know you there? Are you making impact there? In the community of your residence, that is, if you live in Abuja, you live in Gwagwalada local government area, you live in Abaji local government area, you live in Karu local government area, you live in, what's the other one? The city center is what's it called now? Abuja Municipal. That's where you live. Is that not so? What impact are you making in the community of your residence? Then I talked about the community of where you work. Work now, let us expand it to be that you could be a student. You could be working in an office. You could be working in civil society organization. What impact do you make in the community of where you work? And then finally, the community of affectation. the community that all of us belong to. Whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Ijo, whatever you are, wherever you come from, bad roads, poverty, hunger, starvation, lack of education has no tribal marks. Is that okay? So whether you're applying, if you ply the road, if there's an accident, the accident does not denominate where people come from. So in these 4 communities, as you look to 2023, you need to be asking not just to be elected, because the motivation for what you do is as important as what you are doing. Why are you interested in contesting election? What is just that reason why Nigerians, everybody now wants to contest election? But like I said, is it about impact or about what? Noise. The local government where you live as a young person has a budget. The local government of your birth has a budget. Is that also? Every year, monies are appropriated. Even when you are told that governors have taken over everything, you cannot spend money in the local government except there is an appropriation, and it is in a budget. So what is budget? So we have made academic the issue of budget. So when we talk about the intention of government to spend money in a particular year, what you do not know is that the intention to spend money is your money. Your money that comes as tax, your money that comes as license, your money that comes as, in whatever form, that money, resources that God has given to us, those monies, government take them and appropriate them and say they are going to do XYZ road, they will fund schools, they will do XYZ, and they put it in a document. The document that contains what government will do with your money. You live in those communities, you are not interested in that document. You don't want to know what is in that budget. But you talk very much about how things are going bad. But I am telling you now that there's a document that says every year I will do 10 roads, I will build 10 hospitals. That document, it is only the man who has been given the responsibility to hold that office in trust for you that has that document. You are not interested in it. So boreholes are sunk in these 4 communities that I talked about. The only day people drink water from those boreholes will be the day of the commissioning. And you are an activist in these 4 communities. And water is not running in the borehole that has been appropriated and budgeted with your own money, and you are not interested. The only thing you are interested is in 2023. You do not make impact, you make noise. So let us ask ourselves, is it about noise? Because so much of it is going on. And young people want to be interested in that glamour. You know, the glamour that comes with power, the glamour that comes with, you know, I'm a member of the House of Representatives, I'm a member of this. But like Olopade said, there are other places where we can shift the needle. We are not interested in shifting that needle. We are more interested in posturing and grandstanding. You are in the university. Handouts are being sold illegally. Students are being harassed sexually. Textbooks that cannot be sold because they have not passed through any process to even be sold in a secondary school are sold in your university. You have not lifted your voice there, and you want to lift your voice in 2023. You are a noisemaker. You don't make impact. So, to the bigger one that you are interested in, the 2023 and the rest of it, party primaries have held across the country in the dominant political parties. And what has happened in those political parties is what I call dubious benevolence. Did you hear what I said? What do I call dubious benevolence? there is no opportunity for contest. What we have in those primaries is a gift, giving. We give. They call it consensus. Is that not so? They are calling it consensus. So some of you as young people benefit from that dubious benevolence and you're excited about it. But the criminalization of aspiration is the greatest threat to 2023. What did I say? The criminalization of aspiration. That is the fact that you can't wake up now and say, I want to be councillor. Because if you don't have a governor, you have a dominant political exposed person in these communities that I talk about, that will seize the nomination form, buy up all the nomination form and give, not contest. So young people in Nigeria cannot wake up unlike what it used to be and say, I want to be. Because the form is in the hands of one powerful person or the other. And if you do not leak asses, you will not get that form. So you are left to contest in parties that are making noise rather than making impact. What do I mean? Because the PDP and the APC over a long period of time have had access to our common patrimony. They have built patronage and cronyism over a long period of time, and they are dominating the space. They have created a new level of power relationship that has nothing to do with competition and contest. So if you want to do anything in 2023, we need to begin to challenge the ambush of political power by chief executives of states who have become emperors and czars in their states, not wanting any contest or competition. And that is what is dominated all the political parties. They have no tribal marks. Local government elections are done in all the 36 states of the country. The dominant political parties win everything, total, 96%, except for Kaduna and Nasarawa. But all around this country, I have never seen an election in which people win 100%. It happens in our communities. The 4 communities that I talk about, we don't whimper, we don't say a word. In Cross River, in Akwa Ibom State, we organized situation room for local government election. The man who conducted the election came on national television and said a particular political party has won all the seats, that if you want the detail of the result, you should contact them. All the activists in that state did not cough. Did you hear what I said? They did not cough. In Osun State, the APC government there conducted local government election, took everything. In Lagos, where you have enough is enough, NSAS, APC government took everything. All the activists in that state did not do. What are we really interested in? Noise or what? Impact. So I came to just steer your mind that the deception, the malady of deception, the sickness, the affliction of deception that we are hoisting on citizens and thinking they don't know. One human being will wake up and say revolution now, and all of us will clap. We celebrate him. We give him airtime. We are not asking ourselves, how does this revolution now shift the needle from one point to the other? Don't ask that question. It doesn't matter. All matters is noise. The real things that matter, where you should learn politics, is being taken over completely, and you are not interested. You don't care. What you care about is a national budget. but you don't care about your local government budget. You care about 2023 presidential election, but you don't care about local government election in your space. That change we are looking for will not come except we turn the table and be more interested in impact than noise. Thank you very much.
I'm sure we can do better than that. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. I know that was very thought-provoking and action-focused. We will be hearing more from Mr. Ezenwa at the panel that will be coming up in just a moment. But in the meantime, I would like to ask that everyone, please bring out your telephones. Bring them out now. If you're on, okay, Twitter is banned, but if you are Shadi, please let's talk about the event, post conversations, post one sentences that struck you in the course of the speeches that are going on. Hashtag fixing Nigeria 4.0, hashtag we move, hashtag we remember. Create your hashtags and let's go, but always ensure that you put the hashtag fixing Nigeria 4.0 there. All right, thank you very much. Please let's do that now. We want to see Twitter go agog. We want to see Instagram and Facebook also recognize today that something important is happening, that important Nigerians are in this hall making. All right, moving on. While you're doing that, I'm watching. I'm not seeing your phones coming out. I'd like to call on Ambassador Chibuzo Okereke. He will be recognizing and bringing up on stage our next speaker. Please let's give a round of applause to Ambassador Chibuzo.
Thank you so much, Uju. All right, I hope we are making progress. Are we learning something? Are we ready for impact and not just noise? All right. While our highly esteemed comrade, the true comrade, as the one was speaking, important dignitaries and our keynote speaker walked in. Let me first of all ask to join me for us to recognize and welcome His Excellency, Right Honorable Gali Omar Naba, former Speaker, Nigerian House of Representatives. Let's also welcome a serving member of the Nigerian House of Representatives, Honorable Victor Kolade Akenjo, Esquire, the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Privatization, and is doing excellent job. Former NANS President, former SSA to the President, and we have a lot to learn from him. Without wasting time, our keynote speaker has graciously granted us the opportunity to be here to share thoughts with us on the theme of this conference, Fixing Nigeria 4.0. Right Honorable Omar Gali Abba is not somebody that needs introduction in the politics of Nigeria. As the first speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, he shaped the National Assembly and the legislature in Nigeria as a whole, took bold steps to challenge powers that be on why the legislature must be independent. That cost him a lot, and I know he will have opportunity to share those thoughts with us. He was my lecturer. He taught me election management and political party and administration during my master's degree program. So he's a scholar and not just a politician. He's a father, he's a nation builder, he's a known voice who has continued to challenge the status quo and insist that Nigerian democracy must work for Nigerian people. So to give his keynote address, please join me and make welcome to the platform His Excellency, Right Honorable Gali Omar Naba, former Speaker, Nigerian House of Representatives. Please keep clapping until he gets here.
Good morning to you all. Let me recognize the honorable member of the House of Representatives. Let me say a few things before I begin to read my address. I wish I have a very free day today so that I can share with you so much of what I have learned in the last 20 years. This democratic dispensation started with me in 1999. I was a very big actor, and I went through a lot. I learned a lot, and I wish this program is fixed, not today, but another day, because I have an equally very important program to attend to this morning. In fact, I took an excuse to come here to deliver the keynote address and attend this other program. However, I believe that there are many occasions for us to interact again and discuss Nigeria. What is very important before us today has been exposed by, is it Dr. or Mr. Ezenwa? And what I'm going to read may not be far from what he has already told you. I'm very thankful for being asked to deliver this year's keynote address titled "The Nigeria of Our Dreams, Tools and Strategies for Effective Engagement and Actualization. The Truth the Youth Must Know." This keynote address is written personally by myself and taking into account that a great deal of damage has been inflicted on this polity and that timelines may not necessarily help us, because for us to be able to be effective in imposing any administration again in our image, that is what we want. What we want. Because the way things are today, we don't have the power to get what we want. That power has been taken away from us, and it is up to us to work to take back that power from those who had taken it and then utilize it for our purposes. I not only believe that the theme of this year is apt, I also equally believe that time has come when the youth must know something from some of us. My profound appreciation must be extended to the initiators and organizers of this important event, the Ernest and Ibrahim Foundation, for this altruistic and well thought out annual endeavor. I believe it is a measure of the foundation's commitment to Nigeria that they felt they should be organizing such a great endeavor on an annual basis, the cost notwithstanding. It is my expectation that other foundations would borrow a leaf from them. The truth is that more than at any other time in the history of our country, conversations such as the one we are engaged in today have become necessary in view of the perils, some of which are existential, facing our country. In the end, it will be to our great pleasure if, in the end, the conclusions of this gathering, which we are optimistic will turn out very positive, will be utilized by Nigerians in order to add value to all the debates currently going on elsewhere for the purpose of rescuing our nation. No doubt, this is not the best of times for Nigerian youth. This I know, not only by watching how the system is worse than them, courtesy of some political leaders, but by interacting with them and engaging them. By all accounts, Nigerian political leaders have obliterated the future of Nigerian youth. Because Nigerian political leaders have refused to allow our political, economic, and social systems to grow, we have reached a situation where our youths are no longer mobile, thereby putting a cog in their wheel of their realization of the Nigeria of their dreams. The Nigeria of our dreams entails a Nigeria in which its youth and all citizens live in security, peace, and harmony, where every citizen is gainfully employed, where every citizen enjoys robust health, where everyone is treated justicably and equitably. It is also one in which we have responsible political leaders who are people-centered. Leaders that are not only honest, but exemplary in every category of life. It is a Nigeria free of banditry and insurgency. It is a Nigeria free of corruption in all its ramifications and manifestations. It is a Nigeria where all and sundry feel proud of. In order to ensure that every Nigerian lives in peace and security, and in order for them to be able to realize their potentials individually and collectively, the country was returned to democratic rule in 1999 after a long exertion with military rule. However, soon after the democratic system started, a few people, mainly heads of the executive arm in the states and the federal government, colluded and seized the political system. They obliterated internal democracy within the political parties and thereby took away from the people what rightfully belongs to the people. Since then, it is this set of people that have been deciding who becomes what in this country. Almost no one is allowed to play any important role in the polity unless these people so desire. This singular action by these power-hungry people has had disastrous consequences for the polity. Amongst them, the denial of opportunity for the youth to have a voice and have a space in the polity. Almost all the negativities that characterize present-day Nigerian society have a common source in this diabolical action of our state governors. It is very important and even necessary for our youth to have a space in our polity. In not too distant a time, it is from among the youths that our future leaders will be recruited. A situation in which this recruitment cannot be accomplished freely, fairly, and independently will surely spell disaster to our country. Nothing today is more important for us than to find a way to empower our youth. We must enable our youth to not only be politically relevant, but must continue to be so. And we must do that while maintaining their respect and dignity. A situation where our youth feel they are second or third class citizens is unacceptable. A restoration of the democratic political order is vital because we can only realize this objective under a democratic order. The truth that our youth must know is that their greatest enemies are those political leaders that hold our political parties by the jugular. Between our governors and the party leaders, a cartel has evolved in all our major political parties. This cartel does with the political parties whatever they desire. Party congresses and primary elections are always decided arbitrarily. Money has become the single most important current in our polity today. Rules and order are all abandoned in the political parties. To be able to empower our youth and make them politically relevant, we must endeavor to take on all of these political leaders that make it difficult for Nigerians to live a respectable life. We must begin to do this by insisting that internal democracy, which they have stolen from the people by obliterating it, must be restored. No matter what it takes, we must do it. Our effort, more importantly, is to desire and establish a more viable, inclusive, efficient, and effective political system. Some of the tools for achieving that are that we must ensure that the police, the military, the civil service, in fact, all governmental agencies transit from the military mentality that they are sticking to a democratic mentality. We must also endeavor to tutor Nigerian citizens everything that they need to know about democracy. It is not enough to import an alien system and accept that everyone would understand and operate it. We have a national orientation agency that may effectively do that for us. If a system is not historically determined in any environment, it will be foolhardy without interrogating and exposing it to the people to expect that it can be operated optimally. Therefore, these tutorials that are supposed to be given on a continuous basis are very necessary. Because of what has become of our socio-political system and its attendant erosion of role models, it has become necessary to seek answers to some of the questions that bedevil us from our two great religions. I believe that our two great religions, Islam and Christianity, in spite of so much effort to separate religion and the state, will greatly assist us in building our nation. In building our nation, if they are looked at more critically. Our material and spiritual needs are adequately addressed in these religions. They have taught us everything about leadership and ethics and provide for us very effective tools for liberating ourselves from any yoke imposed on us. I am one of those that believe that we can have great succor from religion. It is amazing that our youth are brainwashed into accepting that religion is old-fashioned. We must not forget that democracy itself is faith-based. Philosophers from John Locke Montesquieu, and many others sourced all their theories from religion. It is a great mistake to discount God from our affairs. To benefit from our relationship with God, we must live our two religions. It is no use to be attending mosques and churches while we have very low moral standards. If we have a strong faith, there's nothing in this world we cannot overcome. Therefore, our two great leaders, Jesus and Muhammad, may peace be upon them, should serve as our role models. In conclusion, let me emphasize that any attempt to give our youth their rightful place must ensure the restoration of their confidence in themselves. A return to the era of internal democracy within our political parties is vital and necessary. No Nigerian must live in servitude, which is what our governors have reduced us to. I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts with you this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir, Your Excellency. Thank you for that. I would like to give an opportunity for us to take two questions. If there's any member of the audience who would like to ask His Excellency a question. So just two because of time. I see one hand, the young man in white down there. Is there anyone else who would be asking a question? Please, can you take the microphone to him? Okay, he's coming close. Oh, great, great, great. If there's anyone else, just to kindly state your name and go straight to your question, please. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Maiwa Olajide. My name is Maiwa Olajide Akinleye. I am from Ondo State, and I greet you especially my Honorable Kolade Akinjo. So my question is simply, you touched on it at the last line of your speech, and I think that is the strongest thing that I think we need to solve going forward in 2023. How much and what ways do you think we can begin to solve the internal democracies in political parties and all the political associations within Nigeria? Because the truth is, to the extent where we cannot maintain strong internal democracies, there is no way that our democracy externally as a nation would succeed. Thank you.
So would you like for us to take the second question before you respond? Okay. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, keynote speaker. My name is Davidson Malison. I am from Plateau State. It's a privilege to have you around and for the wonderful keynote address. My question goes this way. It was Martin Luther King Jr. who said, we must learn to live together as brothers or we perish together as fools. That you have well tackled when you spoke about religious, the need for us to become one. When it comes to politics, you said something here, and I have been following you keenly. Is a thought force the true solution of the Nigerian issues, problems? Because over time, I have been following you. You've been championing alongside Professor Tahiru Jega Patutomi championing a thought force as a way out for the myriad of problems and challenges we're facing in this country. Is the thought force actually the way out?
Thank you very much for your question. Sir.
Well, the first question and the second question, as far as I'm concerned, are almost similar. The only thing is that the persons asking the questions, posited them in different forms. Before I started reading my keynote address, I said something. I said a great damage has been inflicted on this polity. And that was by taking away from the people all their political rights. I went through a primary election in 1999. And this primary election was even a delegate election. It was not a direct primary. It was a delegate election in my party, the People's Democratic Party. And I could remember about a week before the primary election, the delegates, about 54 of them, sent a delegation to me to inform me that of the 4 of us contesting for the seat to represent Kano Municipal in the House of Representatives, I was their preferred choice based on merit. And that they are now having problems with people coming to them with all sorts of arrangements so that they abandon that position they have taken. So they requested me to provide them with a place where they can go so that nobody would even know where they are. Not to talk of bringing money to them, in order for them to abandon a decision they had collectively taken. And we provided a place for them. This they did voluntarily, and they didn't ask me anything, and I didn't offer them anything. They remained there. I was providing them with food, and they only went back to their homes after the primary election took place, and I won. This was my first primary election in a political party. And of course, after the election, I gathered them and thanked them. I gave them a party. In 2003, the election of 2003, which primary election took place in November of 2002. I was Speaker of the House of Representatives. And according to protocol, I was number 4 citizen in this country. And I went through so many things with the powerful president we had, and my governor too. And it was decided that some of us in the House of Representatives must not come back to the House of Representatives. And we went for primary election. And the day the election was going to take place, the election was going to take place 10 o'clock in the morning. And around 9:30, there was announcement over the radio stations that there wasn't going to be primary elections for the People's Democratic Party in my constituency and about 7 other constituencies, because, as they claimed, there were security issues, which was false. So that was how my primary election could not take place that time. And after about 4 hours, around 2 o'clock, I was visited by an assistant director of the DSS. Someone who's from Ogun State. He came, he identified himself, and he told me that, he said, Honorable Speaker, I've heard what they want to do to you over your election. And he said to me, over my dead body, that nonsense would take place. I'm aware they have abducted the chairman of the panel sent from Abuja to oversee the primary election. And they have hidden him somewhere. He said to me, wherever he is, I'm going to find out and take him away. Please give me a few hours, I'll get back to you. I said, thank you very much. He went away. Around 7 o'clock in the evening, he came back to my residence and told me that I should arrange for female dress because he has identified where the person was and he was going to get him out. I arranged for him to get female dresses somewhere. In short, 2 hours later, he came back to me. He said he had taken him away. He found him in the government house. He took him away and he told me, he asked me to tell the secretary of my party. Luckily, you know what happened was that the party got divided into two. Some of the chairman and others were doing the bidding of the governor, and the secretary was bidding for us who stood for democracy. So he asked me to inform the secretary that on no account should the election take place before 12 midnight. So my primary election was, started at 2 a.m. on that day, 2 a.m. In fact, there was even no electricity in the venue. It was the police who, ignited their car and put the headlights directly into the cinema. And some of the gates were left open so that, well, there was no light in the area that day. So that primary election took about 2 hours to complete. There were 132 delegates. 131 delegates elected me. Only one delegate did not elect me. But what also happened was that the previous night, some of the delegates came to me and told me that there was a plan by the Kano State government to take them away. And they were going to be given money, plots, and motorcycles so that they would not vote for me during the primary election. And that they suggested that that time too, I should take them somewhere so that nobody could see them. That night, we had to mobilize the delegates took them to Katsina. They slept in Katsina. And in the morning, we started transporting them back. And we took them direct to the venue. And they were at that venue all day until the election started around 2 a.m. Following day. So I'm taking this length, to explain to you in order for you to be able to appreciate the kind of peril that we are situated with today. While this was going on, and that was the reason I mentioned that I was Speaker of the House of Representatives. So the election took place, I won. The third time I was going to contest an election, those who came to ask me to please contest because there was nobody better than me in the constituency were the same people who now, when the primary election was going to take place, who now came to ask me what arrangement I had made in order to be able to, give money to the delegates. My past 2 elections, I never offered anybody anything. And nobody asked me anything. So this erosion of internal democracy, has been a progression. The system totally collapsed after 2003. After 2003, any semblance of internal democracy was obliterated. In short, governors took away, politics away. Political power of the people, that belongs to the people. They took it away from the people and transferred it to the government houses, where they now call people and arrange so-called consensus arrangements. And we know that this consensus, all the time provides for the governor to ask people to step down, and he imposes whoever he wants to impose at all costs. This is what is going on. So in the last 20 years, this has been the condition, the situation with Nigerians. So what has happened is that the governors have refused to allow Nigerians to learn anything about democracy. Instead, there has been a revolution, not in knowledge, but in ignorance. Nobody learned anything. Because democracy, goes along with it a revolution, in knowledge. It's inevitable. When you are operating a democracy, in that competition, where people get elected, where people go and advertise themselves, and expose themselves and say, I will do this, I will do this for you, I'll do this for you. There is something that is taking place. A revolution is taking place because one person wants to make himself better than the other. What does he do? He goes and improves himself in knowledge. So when you aggregate, you find out that the competition is healthy, and that each time a revolution occurs in knowledge, the acquisition of knowledge has now been disincentivized by our governors, because psychophancy is now the methodology with which people get into political offices. Once you are a sycophant and you exceed, your governor now sees that you love him, he nominates you to go to the state assembly or to the House of Representatives or even the Senate. So it is a very, very powerful phenomenon that has taken place in the last 20 years. And it must take effort. It must take single-mindedness. It must take faith and strength, for us to be able to claim what is ours. And more importantly, Nigerians must be educated. Because a lot of people don't even know why we are operating democracies. They don't know. And they need to be taught. There must be tutorials. This system is a system that has not been historically determined in Nigeria. And anything like that, you must give people tutorials so that they know what it is. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time. I see you have been looking at me. I thank you very much. If I'm through with my meetings, I may come back for more engagement. Thank you.
Please, we can do better than that. Thank you so much, sir. His Excellency, Right Honorable Gali Umar Naaba, CFR. While the pleasantries are going on, I'd like to recognize the Honorable Victor Kolade Akinjo, member representing Ilaje Eseudo. I don't know if I got that correct. Federal constituency in Ondo State. Please, let's put our hands together for him. We'll be meeting everyone who is here as the program progresses. I'd also like to recognize Ozo Ayodeji from UNFPA. You're welcome. A round of applause, please. Okay, so, applause is not pay per clap. You understand? It's free. So please, can we kindly give them a proper round of applause? Thank you. We're moving straight to our first plenary this okay, it's still morning. We're moving straight to our first plenary, and that's the CSO roundtable. On this table, or on this panel, we have quite a number of interesting individuals who will be shedding some light on certain issues, responsibilities, role of CSOs, and a whole lot more. The topic is civil engagement strategies ahead of 2023 for a better Nigeria. Now, this panel will be moderated by Josie Itoya. Josie Itoya here. All right, let's put our hands together for Josie as she comes up on stage. I'd also like to call on our first speaker who gave us the welcome address, Shola Olapade. Please come up on stage, sir. A round of applause. Please, can you cooperate with me so that when our speakers are coming up, we're backing them up with some applause. Thank you so much. We also have Mr. Sam Itodo. Sam Itodo is a legal practitioner and the director of Youth Initiative for Advocacy, Growth and Advancement, YAGA. He's here in person. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Sam Itodo. Zainab Buba Galadima is also here. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Zainab is an entrepreneur, a grassroots politician, and activist. Thank you so much, Zainab, for joining us today. Also, we heard him speak earlier and he charged us up. We're going to have a second dose of him. I'm talking about Mr. Ezenwa Nwago. Ladies and gentlemen. And joining us online today, please, I would like for the organizers to confirm for me that Jeanette Washington is live online. Jeanette Washington is the Chief Academic Officer of Barely Articulating. Yes, she will be joining us online as well. She has worked as a speech pathologist, an educator, and a software engineer. So as the program progresses, you will be seeing her live on the screen. Josie, over to you.
Thank you very much, Uju, and happy to be here. I hope we're all having a good time. Even though, like Mr. Ezewa said, I think we should grow past the time of sentiments now. into impact. And I would like to throw this first question. You gave a very brilliant speech because we maybe it's because it's the information era or something. We seem to be in the age where people like to feel rather than think or do. But however, during the last NSAS protest, let me start with that. We were faced with two sets of youths. Those who came out to protest peacefully, and the others who came and spoke violently. They are Nigerian youths. Now, going forward, how do we bridge this gap between this set of persons? Because some people also argued that the ones who did the destruction usually are the ones who vote, that the other ones are also social media politicians. Now, this is our reality. Because why a set came out to say we need change, they were not induced by any other thing. Another set came and destroyed the entire process. So we have a problem on hand. We're talking now of impact. What do we do to bridge this?
Okay, thank you.
No, I'll come to you.
Luckily for me, exemplifies the theory of impact. And what do I mean by that? If you remember the engagement, if you followed that process, it had every ingredient that you needed to get. It had every ingredient that you require to make that impact that you talk about. So when you refer to NSAS, my immediate quick sense is that we sufficiently excited the imagination of everybody. But I am looking at concrete impacts. I'm asking myself, in reality, what have we been able to get? We got the laws. We got the age reduced through protests and engagement, right? The age for contesting for political offices was eventually reduced. That is an outcome. Is that also? So NSAS was to point to police brutality. Is that also? Hello? Are there NSAS here? NSAS. So the impact of it was that we excited the imagination of everybody and brought attention to police brutality. But have we taken away police brutality? The sacking of SARS and the rest of it, has it changed the police in Nigeria? So it means that there has to be much more concrete action for you to get the kind of impact that I'm talking about. And that impact is domiciled within the young people of a country who have the intellectual capacity, the ideological orientation, and the motivation, the pristine motivation that is required for impact. So I don't want to talk about the youth because there are explanations for why people commit crime. Okay? People vandalize properties. We can explain it. Poverty is the reason, the endemic poverty in the country. All of those things, you can use it to excite yourself, but there is no explanation for why people should commit crime. So my sense is that we need to commit to a process that delivers impact rather than the one that excites. The police that you have in Nigeria is a reflection of the ideology of the ruling class of a country. When the colonialists were in Nigeria, they used the police to advance their interests. Those who took over from them have also continued to use the police to advance their interests. So to change the police of Nigeria, a single protest is not enough. but it is a way forward. But it cannot be glorified to become the end and be it of what needs to be done to remove police brutality. That, for me, is my thesis. So I am saying that all that needs to happen to bring the kind of impact that we need is education, mass education, that drives people away from glorifying noise and talking about and seeing through that process that gives you impact. Finally, for me, when we're in the university, okay, you could protest, you could have a protest and then you burn down the Senate building of your university. You are sent home. The issue for which you protested, you come back, your parents pay for the rebuilding of the Senate building, you have extended stay in the university, but you create heroes, the Ezes of this world. You create them from that process. Oh, do you know Eze? Just wait for him. When he comes. But what was the impact? Nothing. You created deeper crisis for the students that you are leading. So right now, my thinking is that as young people, you cannot continue in the path that I trod, the path that talked about creating heroes rather than solving problems. So my thinking is it may have to do with experience, it may have to be with what I've gone through, but I am more interested today in solving problems than in making noise.
All right, thank you very much. But I still believe that, I think that's the reason we're here, to look at better ways of engaging rather than the old ways, right? Absolutely. But I'll come back to you. You said something on mass education. Mr. Olabode, you said, okay, no, I'll come to you. Todo, we seem to be a people built on the interest of our diversity. You've done a lot pushing and driving the not too young to rule. I don't know how many political parties now are beginning to allow the young persons come in. We explored here how governors collect forms and give and all of that. But there's something I want to ask, and I would like you to tell us how we can move forward. Nigeria is a people built on diverse interests because of our cultural differences and all of that. And we seem to see that every time the Nigerian youth gather to protest against a thing or to fight or engage against something, these politics of interest seem to play, and it's like a strategy that is always used to destroy that cohesion. People gather and say, we want better governance. The next thing they say, you're saying this because you're a Yoruba person is on the throne. And before you know it, that good thing becomes politicized. Now, what do you think? I know you were able to, you successfully pushed not to young through. I don't know how far you think it's been accomplished now. If we have even 35% youths, most of the two major parties are having their conventions soon. Don't know how many young persons, even the age of the youth leaders, we don't know how many are participating. So why you give us the honest assessment of how far your campaign has gone, tell us to how we can unite our youths and remove this divisive thing that the elders have always used to scatter the vision to move forward.
Thank you. Can I use that? Well, thank you very much. First, let me thank Ernest and the Ibrahim Foundation for inviting me this morning to share and also learn from you. But I'd like to register my apologies for coming in late. I know I was supposed to speak earlier, but I came in late. I do apologize for that. I do hold this event in high regard. But as you know, today is the 20th of October, and across the country, there's the memorial for the NSAS protest. And I'd like to register my profound respect and solidarity with all those who marched during the NSAS protest and to also commiserate with the families of those who lost their loved ones in the course of that protest. The second point I'd like to make is to pay tribute, because when people talk about Not Too Young to Run, they make references to myself and other colleagues. But I think the credits and the tribute should go to the young people who, engaged their lawmakers and forced them and put pressure on them to pass that legislation. That it was a moment of history for us as a country, that we needed to retire old and expired politicians from public office and replace them with a new cadre of leaders who understand that power should advance the common good and not the personal interest of individuals. And so the credit should go to them, but also to lawmakers. And I see one of them is here, Honorable Akinjo, who was also leading the struggle within the National Assembly to get the bill passed. And I see a lot of us in the room. And to your question, have we made any progress? The truth is, yes, we've made some progress, but we're not where we are. In 2015, the youth candidacy, and that's people who were presented by political parties, stood at 25%. In 2019, the figures rose to about 34%. So in 2019, you had 34% youth candidacy. But how many young people won elections in 2019? For the first time since return to democracy, and credit to the Not Too Young to Run legislation, 20 young people who are between 25 and 29, who couldn't have run for office, ran for office and they won their elections. I thought you were going to give an applause to that. So as we speak, there are 20 people who are under 30s who are in the State House of Assemblies. In the House of Reps, there are about 12 of them who were under 35s who are in the House of Reps as of 2019. And so the youth representation in elective offices rose from 5% in 2015 to 6.6%. The fundamental question is this acceptable? I'll say no, but we are making what? We're making progress. And that's what democracy and politics is about. You win some, you lose some, and you try, work harder to win more. And so we're going into 2019, and we need to do what? To get more young people into office. To your question about diversity and how we're able to manage this, the truth is the End SARS protests and all the advocacy effort led by young people clearly shows that there's a connecting tissue between us, regardless of our geographical or religious extraction. And that connecting tissue is the fact that we've got a country called Nigeria that we're all committed to. And we are united by the challenges that bedevil us as a people. And so I think that we have come to understand and appreciate the fact that you cannot make change happen in this country at the national level if you don't build bridges and if you don't build consensus. And that's the way it is, because the nature, the country is built on ethnic and religious pacts. That is how Nigeria is structured, is our reality. And so to think that we will deviate from this reality and still make progress, no, it's not going to happen. So we need to appreciate that structurally, we've got to build alliances both with the North and the South, with different geopolitical zones. But the fundamental point is, what will be the terms of the discussion and the negotiation? And I stand here to say with all sense of responsibility that every section of this country has a claim to make, and they have a right to make a claim to whether political authority or the resources that this country has. And for me, that's the point. But I'd like to piggyback on what Eze said. And I agree with Eze because he's my boss. The truth is, we need more heroes. We need more heroines. But the point Eze is driving is we need to go beyond just, this advocacy and this protest. That change is not an event. Change is not an event. Change is a process. And we've got to build one, the shock absorbers that would help us retain those shocks that come, like the one we saw with the NSAS, or with this shrinking civic space that we see and experience within our polity. But we have to be ready, to go the long haul and not just stop at protest. If we have 100 heroes and heroines, trust me, we will push the needle and the envelope, just like those who protested on October 20th last year did. That way, we will get to this destination that we all clamor we get to.
Jean, would like to welcome you to the discussion. I hope you're with us. Jean Washington is joining us from the United States. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear.
I'm going to come to you shortly. All right. Okay. Basically, we're discussing with CSOs, and when I ask these questions, I'm going to come again and ask what your organizations are doing to move this from the talk to the doing, because it's a common belief now that we have to go beyond talk to impact. Now, while Mr. Enzewa was talking, he did say something about the four communities, yes. And I know that there are some youths actually making impacts in their various small communities. But there's always this problem. The authorities always try to silence them. Now, they do it either using force or money. And so much so now that we have a lot of cashivists in our media space. Yes, rather than activists. I've seen people come with so much vibrancy and say, we won't take this. And the ones that suffer the most are actually those who are closest to the people from the ward level. You understand? So now what do we really do to protect these people? Especially these days that we are in a government that has zero tolerance for opposition. So what do we do? Because truly, some are coming up and they are being silent, either with cash, like I said, or force. So what's your organization, or what do you think should be done?
Thank you very much. I would like to once again commend Mr. Izenwa for his presentation, very profound. And I'm glad to be sharing platform with Mr. Sampson, who is a huge inspiration, especially with what you were able to do in galvanizing the youth towards the not too young to run bill. Thank you. Coming to your question, okay, before I come to that, I would like to add something. The NSAS has become a reference point and a watershed in our political space. I strongly believe, in addition to what Mr. Izenwa has said, that sometimes you still need such events to draw attention or to bring issues to the front burner. So there has to be a balance between that and other processes. Where there is an issue is where the action stops with the protest or with the noise. But I believe there are times you need to make some noise to draw attention to some of the issues going on the ground. You know, in course of the NSAS, my focus personally was reaching out to some of the leaders that I knew that, you know, the protests usually is one of the 5 stages of civic and social engagement. You know, there were times we were saying, we have done the protests. It's time to move to the next level. I think the problem was staying at that level for too long. There was a time we needed to have made that switch. The protest galvanized people across professions, across religions, across tribes, across different strata. We could have sat down and looked across board and began to form committees, form teams that will begin to engage both government, the civic space and all of that, so it's important to also pay credence to people who came out, defied all the status quo to come out and bring public awareness to the issue of police brutality. And I think we shouldn't stop, but we should now begin to engage constructively so that we can make impact. So coming to the issue of how to deal with intolerance for opposition, especially with money or with force, I had said earlier in my presentation that oftentimes we focus on political power, but there are other political power that is usually just within the reach of a few, but there are other dimensions of power within the reach of everybody. For instance, we have a lot of youth, we have a lot of leaders with economic power. So where the government or the ruling class is using cash or economic power to oppress leaders of the youth or activists, we match cash for cash. If we can raise cash for Big Brother participants, why can't we raise cash for political causes? It speaks to where our values lie. So we can't, the fact is the government cannot be richer than all of us. It's impossible for the government of any nation to be richer than all its citizens. We have youth here, we have billionaires in this hall, we have multiple millionaires in this hall. If we begin to put our pocket where our mouth is, then the government will begin to take us seriously. Secondly, when you talk about force, the greatest force apart from political or military might is social force. We have social power. Some of us here are leaders of people in hundreds, in thousands. We have seen situations where government comes or opposition people come to arrest someone, and people are mobilized within the community to withstand such extreme show of force, and it ended up not happening. We saw our brother, he was here last year, Senator Dine Melai, several times that he was to be the victim of such. He mobilized social power. He's sometimes, jumping from the bus and all of that, attracting people's attention. So the question is, what are we doing with social power that we have? Political power is not the only dimension of power. So when people rise up, we leave them to their fate, they would not want to come back again. So all of us, we can mobilize people, we can mobilize resources to be able to put our foot on the ground and say what needs to be done must be done. Thank you.
So much, Allah. Thank you. All right. Okay. Now to the part I like so much. Zainab, the daughter of the popular Buba Galadima. They've been promising us 35% derivation. I don't want to go and start asking ourselves how far. I don't want to. But the thing is, it's like there is a societal concept of sexualizing female. I'm talking of the Oza room concept still in play. Now, as a female young politician, it's true that the female population is growing, the educated female population is growing, yet the voice is still so much silence. What do you think is wrong, and how do we engage productively? Jean, I hope you're listening to this, because I'm going to also hear from you what you think. All right, so Zainab.
Good morning, all. I just looked at this room before you asked me this question, and I could hardly see any woman, which is, there's so many things wrong. And first of all, I ran for the most important office in the country. Yeah, it is. Okay. My what? My campaign. Okay. I ran for the most important office in the country, which is a councillor. I call myself the Councillor of the Federal Republic. I won. It is the largest ward in Nigeria. And in terms of registered voters, at that time, that was 2013 and to 2016. I was the only lady in an opposition party, CPC. But the thing is, a lot of women feel like it is a man's field or whatever, but truly it's not. When you look at the voters, they're mostly women. And our problem is lack of education. When I was running, I didn't see myself as a woman running because that wasn't how I was brought up. I was brought up with my 8 younger brothers, and I felt like I was just the same. I never saw myself as less of them. But the society, based on sometimes religion, culture, and stuff, it makes us think that women are of, lower, whatever. We're not equal to you men. But it's not even about equality. It's about capacity. They said when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And we're way behind in that. And we need to engage women some more, educate them some more, and make them feel good about themselves, make them feel like they can do what anybody else can do. It's not rocket science. Really, there's nothing really, except for the violence, but I don't really think there's anything a woman can't do. But serious engagement, education, and determination, because that's what we're lacking. We don't have the confidence to come out and, for now, if I'm asked to run, I probably wouldn't. Because when I look at the men, you people have the economic power. Yeah, it's true. The economic power, financial power, to run, and the support system. There's this thing called he for she. You men need to support women in, building their confidence, giving them support in terms of participation. And not just women, young people in general. There's very little participation. We need to join political parties because we can't just sit at the back of our keyboards or, just sit in a beer parlor or whatever, talk about, oh, okay, how young people are not, being engaged. Seriously, are you people even ready? Because when I look at, young people, when I engage them, it's like they also think like this old men. Probably we're even worse. Yes, it's true. We're worse because when you teach somebody something, they tend to outshine the master. So that thing about learning, you overlearn, and then that nepotism and all those things we imbibe in, we get it into us, and we don't really look back and say, okay, let me help somebody up, somebody down. And that is very, very important. We need to change our mindset. The mindset is very, very important. Education mindset. If we do not do that, there's no way we can, we can make a difference or we can get that process of change that we actually want to. So anyway, like, have I?
Continue. Welcome, sir. Then please continue.
Okay. The support, like I talked about. For example, now, if a woman like me, I don't feel there's nothing that I want to achieve that I feel like I can't. I feel like I can achieve anything, but one can't do it alone. Nobody can ever do anything alone. We need that support system. So we need to support each other. And also the lack of education makes the whole institution or the system, faulty. Because when we understand our power as a people, we will be able to address all these issues that we feel like we need to come and talk about. I believe in action. I don't believe in coming to talk. I believe that we should stand up and do something about it. It's not about protest, like they said. It's not about protest, like they said. It's about action, and it is a process. And once we change our mindset, and I think everything will fall into place. And we also need to strengthen the institutions, because we live in a society whereby there is no consequences for anybody's actions. And that really, really hurts everything that we stand for. So, and there comes values, ideologies, and stuff like that. So really, it's a big issue to look into. Thank you. I hope I've answered.
Thank you very much, Zainab. Please, we recognize and welcome the presence of our royal father in our midst. Can we please put our hands together? Welcome, sir. Okay, if we can have Jean.
Hello, I am here. Can you hear me?
Jeanette.
Yes.
All right. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Excellent.
Now, Jeanette, all right. Zainab just said that we need to do something. And I know there's a school of thought going on called twinning, where we want to drive the process where every political and government positions are actually gender-based. So that's like saying in 2023, if the president is a man, we should have a female vice president. In political parties, if you have the party chairman as a man, the deputy should be a woman. Now, what's your take on this? Judging from the fact that in America, you guys have been able to do that with a lady there. So let's hear your talk on that. Because like she rightly said, you can't match the men. They've got the money, the experience, and all of that. So just like we want the youth to be involved, we need to create something. So what's your take on twinning?
I believe first and foremost, okay, so before I get into my beliefs, I want to thank you all for having me. And I want to thank my panelists for being so insightful for the last few minutes. I've really been gaining a lot of insight and enlightenment around a lot that's happening there in Nigeria. So I know this is the anniversary of SARS, so I do want to honor that and the idea that the power of the people is greater than the people in power if we mobilize ourselves correctly. And if we use these particular events as tipping points so that we can move forward and we just don't stop there. It's not just a one event situation. It's bigger than that. It needs to be an ongoing process. So I want to say that first. And then to piggyback or to echo what you're saying, I think that the future is female. So we need to wrap our minds around the ideas that women can bring a lot to the table. If we don't have any women at the table, any people that look like us at the table, then there'll be very biased information that's being put out there into the world. So I am a strong believer that we should have all sorts of diversity. That could mean ability, that could mean people who have specific needs, autism, ADHD, dyslexia, the whole gamut needs to be at the table so we can be going forth making decisions that truly embody all of our beliefs, all of our sentiments, and that we can be an educated group of people as we move forward politically, educationally, and financially, and in all realms and aspects of our country's divine needs. So I want to say that as well. I know that the youth is important because they are essentially our future. So as you all are listening to this, I want you to remember that today you might be our partners, but tomorrow you will be our leaders. So let's wrap our minds around getting people that don't necessarily look like us or don't necessarily think like us at that table so we can all make decisions to better equip us to be a force, to put the pressure out there. Nigeria is the most beautiful country I've ever visited, and I've gone to over 40 plus countries and visited with different cultural leaders and spent time learning about ethnicities that don't necessarily mirror my own, but I will say that there is so much power in this room and within the Nigerian structure. Ultimately, you all have the most social media influencers. And I say that to talk a little bit more about the idea of internet activism. And I know that that was something we talked about where people were basically just, talking to talk or talking to make actionable steps and talking to really mobilize one another. And I'd have to say that social media is such a great contender in us getting out our different ideas, our thoughts, and really pushing that envelope. Because when SARS was going on in Nigeria, I was in the US and I was able to keep up with exactly what was going on. I was able to contact representatives in my country and let them know, hey, we need to get involved. We need to look at ways in which we can be an asset or be of an assistance so that this doesn't happen again. You have countries like China who are heavily invested in Nigeria. And those countries like China were able to see what was going on, to see the impact and the detriment of the SARS movement and how the youth were specifically targeted. So I do think that social media plays a huge part in making sure that what is going on nationally is amplified globally so that so many people can get on the ground and make things happen. They can make those investments financially, or they can make those investments of ideas and thoughts and ideologies that can help really transition what's happening. So I want to just leave that there. I have a whole bunch of thoughts. I have a whole bunch of ideas running through my mind as we're all conversing and we're all putting forth our energy to tackle these issues that we're seeing now and that we know we'll see in 2023 and beyond. So I want to leave you all with that there. And hopefully we'll come back and I'll be able to add some more insight because I have a ton.
All right. Thank you so much, Jenny. Please, can we just
You're
have it for
very
her?
welcome.
Thanks so much. All right. Of course, we cannot overemphasize the power of social media. There's nothing we can do about it. This is the age of information. Now I'm going to ask people in the audience, the delegates, if you have questions for any of the panelists, you just file out next to the microphone. Now, while we're doing that, just come out and line up behind the microphone. Yeah, and then we'll take your questions. Mr. Elizabeth talked of criminalization of aspiration. So I'm quite sure a lot of us here will have a word or two for you. And especially, I'm going to ask you that later, when you talk about personality cults, how are we going to be able to divorce that in a society where we seem to be seduced with the euphoria that come with entertainment celebrities? You think people can actually remove themselves from wanting to gain that attention? That's the reason you said that is that everybody wants to talk on national issues. We don't want to ask why the Agberos are receiving tax every day from taxi drivers and yet every motor park is messed up. We don't want to ask people what they do with the money they collect, but we want to ask the federal government all the time about budgets, those kind of participation. So we'll talk about that later. All right. If you can make it short, precise, and whoever you want to.
Okay. Good morning, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Nigeria. Can you hear me? Okay. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning, Nigerians.
God bless Nigeria. So today marks a year after NSAS. My name is Barrister Maurice Ebam. I'm the national leader of African Democratic Congress, ADC. I'm also the interim chairman of the 18 Political Parties National Leaders Forum in Nigeria.
Fantastic.
After the NSAS, I and my fellow generation of youth said that we could not just stay by the wayside and just talk about politics. We needed to get involved in politics. So we said, okay, let's start walking the talk, get involved in politics, join a political party that aligns with your ideology. But at the end of the day, we have a country that we just have political parties, they have no ideology. And we joined ADC, African Democratic Congress, no means of advertising here right now, but we had to join politics. and we had to promote youth inclusion in politics. It's very, very paramount. I had the privilege of going through the book by Young Africa, Beating the Odds, of persons that contested 2019 election. I went there, I realized that there's still so much to do. There's still so much we can do right now. We talk about swinging right now. I happen to be the youngest national leader in Nigeria of a political party right now. We need to get more youth involved in politics. We need to shun our appetite towards politics, because you talk to a lot of young people about politics, they say it's not their business, it's not their problem. We have the numbers. If the 98 and counting Nigerian youth were to be a nation, we are going to be the 17th most populous black nation in the world. But yet, those numbers are not translated to votes. That's the problem right now. So today is NSAS. A lot of persons do not believe that persons' lives were lost during the NSAS protest. And I say, I care less about what they think. But I understand with all conviction and passion that indeed the beginning of the new Nigeria has come. Thank you very, very much. So thank you very, very much.
So that's more of a contribution.
This is more of a contribution, and to charge the minds of youth in this world, we need to get involved in politics. Get your PVC and join the political party. God bless you.
So that's the man talking about impact and not just the talk. To work the talk. Okay. Sorry, my brother, before you come in, Uzo Ayodeji, you're from the United Nations. I would like to ask you a question about gender later, your view. So maybe by the time we're done with this, you'd probably speak from there and then give us some. All right.
Yes. Good day, everyone. All protocols duly observed. My name's Comrade DC Majesty. I'm actually the State Publicity Secretary, Young Progressives Party, FCT. My question goes to my respected elder in terms of Samson. I benefited very well because at the age of 28, I contested as a councillorship candidate of the Young Progressive Party here in FCT, Gwagwalada Kutunkutu ward to be precise. And I faced a lot of challenges. And why I'm going to be posing this question to you is because I had several experiences, one of which I almost had encounters that led to loss of lives at the Collation Center. So now I followed the Not Too Young to Run. And when our president, His Excellency, said he wanted us to wait till 2023 to exercise that, I was one person who put my foot on the ground and said, no way, I must contest. And as at then, my political party then really did not give me that platform, so I decamped. Now, sir, capacity, as our honorable female councillor said, that capacity, sir, I would like to ask this question that in the movement of Yaga Africa, after the Not Too Young to Run was signed, can I ask, sir, that with reference to sponsorship through political parties, did you have any engagements, or will I say any, in politics now, you might have a political party, but you can sponsor someone. So did you or did your platform actually sponsor or project people under any type of platform, political platform, whether ruling, opposition, or upcoming? It's just a yes or no answer so that we can do. Thank you.
He doesn't want too much. Do you want to answer that now? All right, okay. Okay, so please, can you make it short and just hit?
Okay. Good day, everyone. My name is Agaba Androata. My question is this. We have heard a lot from the speakers and the panelists. So my question goes like this. In what way and what are the tools we need to tackle this thing in grassroots level? Just like Mr. Olapade said, there are so many things we need to use. Like we need to tackle them with financial power as well. Just like I experienced in Oyo State, the Speaker House of Assembly in Oyo State is just 34 years. He started like us. We need to go to the grassroots and mobilize. I'm from Okpoko local government in Benue State. I experienced an election where people voted a candidate without we don't have the financial strength. He was motivated. So I'm asking, what are the tools we need? Because we need to learn and send message to them in the grassroots. What are the tools we need to mobilize them? Because the title is Fixing Nigeria. we were not fixing Nigeria in Abuja here. We want to fix Nigeria all over. So what are the tools we need to fix Nigeria?
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon John. My question, first, I want to recognize the topic here, fixing Nigeria. And I believe fixing Nigeria have to go with unity of this country. And by looking at things from the NSAS protest, the trauma that people passed during then is still in us. Like people that came out, I believe that that trauma can never go out of them. And in fixing this Nigeria, people need to be oriented. First, what is protest? What are you protesting? What are your aims and objectives for your protest? Why am I driving this? I want to give an instance. I was driving from Bega here to Jabi. Then all of a sudden, then they have not stopped this KK. So this KK, one of the KK mistakenly almost brushed one of the car, and I was coming behind. Yes, I'm coming, please. So they just parked. All the KK just gathered, and some that just came, they don't even know what happened. They start shouting on the other car. They just come, start beating on the other person's vehicle. And I came out. It's only because I can speak outside, and I was able to interpret that, no, this KK was wrong. And at a point, all of them just go calm before everybody now left. Now, the central question is, how can we draw back? How can we get out this anger in the youth and the trauma of the previous that have passed? Because I believe if we ask people to come out on a protest now, only few will turn out because of the trauma still exists in us. There is anger in most of the youth. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Before the next question, please, those of our teaming persons watching on Zoom and Facebook, as well as YouTube, please, you can begin to drop your questions. Those who are on Facebook and Zoom, drop your questions, please. All right, please, after this wonderful man, the rest of you would keep your questions till after the next panelist, please, because of time, because we still have another steaming section coming. And if you would help your neighbors by just hitting it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Batu Seso. My question is directed at Mr. Itodo, but maybe any other panelists can throw light. We are young, he said young persons got political position in the last general elections, which is very commendable. But my question is getting elective positions the end, or is a means to an end? And if it's a means to an end, what is the end, and how are we working at achieving that end?
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My question is for the female counselor. So I am actually happy seeing you here. When I was a little bit younger, I wanted to go into politics. And like you said, they usually like intimidate, females. So my question now is, what are the practical steps you advise to females when going into politics, and what is your advice? Because
all right, thank you very much. All right, so thank you so very much. Don't worry, we'll start with you. You begin the next set of people that ask this question. Okay, now they've spoken, gentlemen and ladies. Yes, I think we should start from the last question. What are the practical steps a young lady aspiring for political position should take? Let's that person that we can now. Zainab.
Okay, first of all, you identify a political party which your ideology tilts towards. A lot of them don't have much, but just the one that you are comfortable with. You register with a political party, and then you attend all their meetings. Be active and be naughty as well, because you can't go and keep quiet. They won't even notice you. So you have to be doing things that they will notice. And if you have any ambition of running for office, you declare your intention. But most importantly, what you need is the support. You need that support. not just financial, you need that support. You need those people that could stand by you regardless of what. And you need the money. You also need to lay out your manifesto, you know, bring out something in you that is different from any other person. You know, you need to identify, you need to find your purpose, you need to show it, you need to believe in yourself and make other people, and make sure other people believe in you. So, and you need that persistence, because a lot of things will be thrown at you. You know, they'll call you names. Don't bother, that's just a distraction, you know, but I know it's not easy, but you know, you have to have that thick skin, you know, and all that. So these are all the things, but you have to be fearless, most importantly. You cannot, and you also have to have a focus that you want to see it till the end, because you can't go half, you know, okay, let me see what I can do. No, you have to be determined enough to see that, okay, I want to see this through. And I think those are the basics. Along the line, there's no manual for this thing, you know. Along the line, you learn new things, you know, you face challenges, and it is up to you and your support system, you know, to be able to overcome those things. Thank you.
All right. So in addition to that, Mr. Enzo said something about making an impact where you are. Now, listen, nobody denies anything of value. One of the reasons we're all here today is because of the value of learning. So when you make yourself valuable by solving problems, you definitely will get the respect and recognition. So make impact from your compound, school, premise, office. Great impact. When you're a person of impact and you can solve people's problem, you would have something that is more than money. So that is an addition to it. And again, I think it's time we all actually belong to political parties, because if what the National Assembly is pushing for the direct primaries, it means you now have the power to even elect from your party, your presidential candidate. So it's about time. Do you want to say something? You want to add something? Mr. Enzo, what to the question? Okay, all right, it's okay, fine. All right, he asks, maybe to you, said, do you have the financial pulse? Is there a pulse to help young people contest? Because you cannot remove the talk of Pepe from politics. It's all about the lalas at the end of the day. So, Samson, do you people have a bank to help young people become presidents? You are asking them to engage. Now let's talk the real talk.
I think we need to, let's flip this. We're not saying people should run for office. I think that we need to properly contextualize this. We need to recognize that our country is grappling with a leadership problem. We need to recognize that the country is grappling with a leadership problem. And we need leaders who are transformative in every respect. And I'll tell you this, I'll rather vote for an older person who I know has the capacity and has the character to deliver the promise of democracy than to vote for a younger person who does not understand leadership and can provide quality direction for society. So this conversation is not value neutral. There are certain principles that are critical, and that's the point that all the panelists have made. So don't think when you hear not too young to run, it means it's for every Tom, Dick, and Harry vie for public office. In fact, when you're ill-prepared, you undermine the ethos and the philosophy of the Not Too Young to Run campaign. That it's about how do we shift leadership? How do we ensure that anyone who presents themselves for public office, there are people who understand the rudiments of leadership. There are people who understand that our society needs transformative, accountable, and responsive leadership, and not the kind of leadership class that we have today. So we need to note that. And so when people talk about resources and funding, and I say, you're not running for office because of me or because of all those who are running or who are driving this campaign. You're running to represent your people. So your people need to know you. And so if you're not popular within your people, I don't have any electoral value that to add to you. So go and make yourself popular amongst your people. And I tell you that when you're popular amongst your people, there are people who will rise up to support your campaign. Oftentimes I hear You know, I hear people sit in Abuja and say they are running for office. They don't even know their constituency. They don't even know their local government chairman. They don't know their party chairman or the political configuration within their constituency. And come on, give me a break, and you want to represent your people? No, it begins with knowing your people. The politicians who are in the National Assembly today, they are in the National Assembly because they know the language of the people and they know how to speak the language that the people understand. In some cases, it might be money or clientelism, which I am opposed to. But in some cases, they know that their people need what? Basic things like water, roads, and scholarships, and they provide this. Yes, you can also do so, and their support systems are available. And the point that I need to make is, yes, you need money to run for office, but some gentleman mentioned that in his experience cases where people didn't have the money, but they still won the elections. Yeah. Of the 20 young people who are under 30s, who are in the State House of Assembly, 50% of them come from humble homes and they didn't have money to run. So don't say it is not possible. There's evidence to show that it's possible. The last and final point that I like to make, for those of us who want to run, I don't mean us, I'm not inclusive, but for those of you who want to run for office, you see what happened over the weekend with PDP and, is it PDP and APC primaries? Congresses, right? Congresses. The leadership for 2023 has been determined over the weekend.
Absolutely.
And it's been determined. Why? Because the people, the delegates, if you do the indirect primaries, the delegates and those who would man the leadership of the parties have been nominated or selected or appointed. They will be the ones to take the decisions in 2023. So if you want to run for office, note that you need to pay attention to what happens at your ward, at your local government, and at your state, the state leadership or the leadership of your party at the state. And don't get deceived by the razzmatazz of what happens at the urban centers. That's why when Oshomole, when Uche Secondus and other leaders of political parties had problems, it started from where? From their ward. So if these gladiators want to cut you short, they know where to get you. So go and start from your ward and build upstream. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In other words, you cannot defeat what you don't understand. No, it's not possible. If your adversaries are not more sophisticated than your enemies, you can't win the war. Now, the question is, do you even understand the game you want to change? Do you know it? All right, so I'm still asking for those Zoom and Facebook people to feed us with their questions. All right, somebody asked the question on how do we quell the anger in the land? Quell the anger in the land. The guys are not smiling. The youths are angry. What do we do now that we are talking about alternate ways of engaging?
Well, thank you, moderator. I think there is somebody who is in this hall whose life can answer some of the questions that the young people are asking. Can Vakama be upstanding and take a little bow?
All right.
Now, thank you very much. There's a reason I asked him to stand up. You see, a lot of people think leadership is served a la carte. This was president of the Students' Union of the Obafemi Awolowo University Students' Union, right? Now served as special advisor to the president, went back to run elections. But let me tell you what is basic for him. He is an Elijah man. Did you hear what I said? When I say he's grassrooted, he's not, if he speaks his language here, you would think he's a bushman. When I started, I talked about 4 communities. Everything everybody has said revolves around that. That if you are not relevant in these 4 communities, you are just wasting your time.
And the only way to be relevant is not to get into the ballot box. There are they talked about social power, spiritual power, a lot of things. Which one are you deploying in your environment? Before you want to contest election, did you organize extramural classes for people who are writing SSC in your place?
Free of charge.
It's simple. Now that's why you don't need money. You gather like minds. People are writing by head. You teach them government, teach them the things that you know. From there, they know you. Is it possible to put a sports competition together if you are interested in running for office? But my challenge is that what young people need basically, first and foremost, is knowledge. And knowledge is lacking. Ignorance is parading all over the place as authority. All over the place. People who are ignorant want to just, because you think it is just contest election. What do you understand about the current economy that the country is running? You are saying things are difficult. Do you know what it means to devalue the naira? Do you know what it means to withdraw subsidy on electricity, agriculture, and the rest of them? Do you know what the IMF and the World Bank is pushing through? That whether it is Jonathan, whether it is Adua, whether it is Buhari, they cannot but continue to cut down on public expenditure. They talked about the fact that we all are wealthier than the government. It is not true. Government is the highest repository of our resources. And IMF is telling you government has no business in business. Are you challenging that orthodoxy? Are you thinking through it? If you get to this office, what will you do with it? Will you just collect allowances and sit down in that place? There is bigger work for our country. And it is the young people of the country who are educated. And I'm not talking about going to school. I'm talking about being educated, roundly educated, that can challenge the kind of fallacies that we have. Oh, poverty capital of the world. You are excited. You are clapping. Poverty capital of the world. Where did that statistics come from? Who knows where you live? If I'm asking you to tell me to come to your house, you tell me get to 1-3. When you get to 1-3, turn. You will see one pole. After the pole, enter. How if I don't know where you live? Where did I get the statistics about your poverty? Now, both the IMF, the World Bank, and the people who are giving you that statistics, and the collaborators internally are using it to attract funds. World Bank has been doing water in Nigeria. World Bank has been doing electricity. World Bank has been doing health. Yet we don't have health. And you are not interested in yet challenging that orthodoxy. The problem we have is that we have glorified public office. All of us want to run election. And because we all want to run election, we have thrown away our thinking cap. There are people who should run election. Other people should challenge those in public office. There is a knowledge that you need to have to be able to do that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
I would like to add a few.
Mr. Shola, your last
words.
word, please.
I'll just like to add to what has been said, that I think I said it last year, and I would like to reiterate it. Power itself is not the end. And then power, like money, is amoral. It takes on the nature of the man who wields it. It amplifies you. It amplifies who you already are. It amplifies what you are already doing. So, like it has been said, if you are already doing something at your local level and you're making impact, when it is time, the people, because the greatest capital, the greatest resource is human resource. If you have been investing in people, when it's time to contest election, those same people will stand up for you. Those same people will fight for you. Those same people will give you that power in trust on a platter of gold. So what are you doing at the moment? That elective office you seek is just going to amplify who you already are or what you are already doing. So if you're not doing anything, there is no need to seek any amplifier. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zainab. Thank you very much.
Is it possible for me to chime in?
We're seeing the questions coming from net. We don't have time. the next panelist will do justice to that. Now, the question is this. There is a problem in the current country. Are you ready to be that change? It's time to graduate from the feeling, from the anger into the doing. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much.
If you enjoy that panel session. Sound, please help me. Thank you. If you enjoy that panel session and it tasked your brain a little bit, please let's give another resounding round of applause to all of our panelists. Thank you very much. While the photo ops are going on, I would like to, good, thank you. I'd like to make welcome Builder Shamsuddin Yusuf. He's the Bulama of Zozo. Please, a round of applause. I'm sure you saw him coming earlier. We're moving on straight because of time constraints to our next panel session. And to do the honors of introducing the panelists in that particular, or the discussants, I would like to welcome Ambassador Chibuzo Okereke to the stage as he introduces all the honorables and other members of that panel. A round of applause for Chibuzo.
Thank you so much, Uju. We are moving into a very practical and masterclass panel, and I want to thank all our honorable members and political leaders who will be joining in this panel. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, Chairman, for your patience. As I call our panelists, please do well to put your hands together for them. Please, let's make welcome Honorable Kolade Victor Akinjo, Esquire. Put your hands together for him. He's a member representing the good people of Esodo, Eleje Federal Constituency, and Ondo State. Put your hands together for him. He's also the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Privatization. Let's also welcome another young and dynamic political leader who has served and continued to serve the people for many years now. Put your hands together for Honorable Muntari Dantuse, who represents the good people of Funtua and Dandume Federal Constituency of Katsina State, and he chairs the House Committee on Agri Production and Services. Put your hands together for him. We also have in this panel a very dynamic young man and aspiring already political leader. We'll be right to put Honorable Alexander Ogbe, who is the MD of Ochacho Foundation. Put your hands together for him. He's in this panel. He hopes to be in the House of Rep by June 2023. I also have another dynamic young man who came here in his full regalia and paraphernalia of office. Let's make welcome Builder Honorable Yusuf Samshuddin Mohammed. He also hopes to be in the House of Representatives in 2023. And you can imagine him coming for plenary. Put your hands together for him, please.
Okay, press it.
Hello? Okay, can you hear me, please? All right, so we have had a very brilliant section with the last panel, and this panel is going to be like a master class because we have people who are serving members of the Nigerian House of Representatives, and we have people who are contesting and still contesting elections to be in the National Assembly. So they are going to be sharing basically experiences on the dynamics of political engagement in Nigeria's political space. As you know, a lot of people, especially young people from the last panel, you could see that we have challenged about how young people should engage and whether young people really understand how the political dynamics of Nigeria works. So this panel will help to unravel some of the key tools and engagement strategies you would need. And in fact, we will also be able to address whether what we need is actually to contest and win an elective office, or are there other political process participation we could involve in and still deliver governance for the people. Without wasting time, I will start with Honorable Muntari Danduse. I'm starting with him because Honorable Danduse, I think he just, I don't know if you can see me, Honor. He's just about 53 or 54 years old. He has served as local government chairman in Katsina State for about 3 terms, 2 elective terms and 1 caretaker, I believe. And he's a 3rd-term member of Nigerian House of Representatives. So if you do plus or minus, you will know that he actually started as what? A youth, right? So it will be important for Honorable Danduse to please share with us that, like they said, politics is local. The engagement strategy in Katsina is different from Mondo, different from Benue, different from Kaduna for Mohammed. Honorable, how have you been able over these years to overcome the murky waters of Nigerian politics and continue to get re-elected for 3 terms now from a state as big as Katsina and your constituency that is also very large? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Before I want to tell my experience as a grassroots politician, as a youth who started from the humble beginning to this prospect I am now, I want to advise the youth that are here present today. It is very important because it's a word of caution for us to succeed as youth and determined leaders, because the strength of this country, as a matter of fact, relies on the youth and their capability and the ability to harness the opportunity in their various localities. Based on the fact of clear focus and direction of this country, we need to remain focused and have an absolute fear of God, and also know what we want and know what we are trying to do in our leadership responsibilities, because I have met a lot of challenges. When I came out as a graduate in 1991, I started partaking in politics. And as a matter of fact, you may see the existing situations that is still happening in this country that deny leadership for the youth and determine who are vibrant and brilliant and have all the capacity to govern the government. If they came out with beautiful ideas, some of the autocratic and myopic leaders that we have that are an impediment to our development in this country will start fighting you in different localities of the country. So as a student of history and also as person who served in the capacity of chairman Funtua local government for 10 years, 3 times caretaker chairman, 3 times elected chairman, and 3 times elected as a member of Federal House of Reps. Let Adua discover that Funtua is a key to the success of his politics and is a very cosmopolitan town. That is why I'm seeing those that are making tribe or religion as a polity. They are just misleading the youth, they are misleading the country. Because when it comes to sharing government money, no tribe, no religion. But when it comes to using people to instigate them for violence and for intimidation and general murder of opponents, so they will use religion and tribe. So this is the situation we are is happening in this country, because most of the political elites, they mislead the youth. And I want to advise the youth that are here present so that they can take this message so that they can be a future leaders. Unless they do that, it's not an issue of money. Because my last election, I contested with somebody who gave 120,000, but I gave only 20,000 and I won the election against him. So it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of the personal conviction and the personal commitment and the relationship between you and the people. We have to make this Nigeria great and better. This time I came, despite all my schedules, to ensure that what we are here, it will be translated into reality. We should not be here to make it as a mirage, because a lot of factors are happening in this country, which is very unfortunate, very sad, I can't even explain it, because Nigeria has been blessed. God has blessed Nigeria. And let's take Funtua as an example. 30% of the population are Yorubas, 5% are Igbos. Where do you expect them? They are there for the last 100 years. Some of them, they are there generation after generation. So if you look at it, some people will come and create just confusion to make things work. If you don't like somebody, youth can determine the election of this country, because I believe the youth and women are constituted more than 65% or to 70% of the population of this country. If we are sincere and remain focused, we can choose to take any one of you who doesn't have a single kobo, but we believe that he can perform wonderfully. He can do what we want. He will not be opportunistic after voting him, so that he will lock his phone, he will change his friends, he will change his associate, he will become very selfish, and because of the power, greed, and the opportunity he has put in him, getting himself. So if we are having a holistic approach, I want to sincerely appreciate. That is why I'm enjoying the benefit of doubt of my people. When I came out as a graduate, I was called a different name, because I am facing the reality of issues. I know the constituted majority of the people are the masses, and these masses need to be identified and be taking care of their needs. That is why when I serve as local government chairman, I told Adua, when he invited me to Katsina, I said, I'm a private sector. I have never worked in government, but I want him to know that I have the capacity and the ability to face the existing situation for the landmark of the future. And I told him, despite all obstacles and setbacks, because I know they will come and tell you, he gave me a caretaker chairman, but there is a lot of issues that are happening, which I change it. In local government alone, they built more than 11 million naira, which is just selfishly. And I, as local government caretaker chairman, I will benefit 2.5 million. The head of departments of other departments will benefit 1 million. And the unit heads that are facilitating this criminality and this corruption, are getting there to the tune of 11 million, which I told them in principles and in practical, I don't like it. And I went and told Adua, so this is the situation. And where they most show the courage, most of the leaders in the union that are managing the account of the local government are accountants, auditors, and the rest. So they created untold rumor and useless initiation because they want us to continue that type of criminality. And I told them I'm not party to it. So we cut that one, and it will become from a strength to strength, which I use that opportunity to build 320 block of classroom,
Good.
to build 1,000 shops, to build 40 houses, to build 104 houses, 104 block of classroom in Jabiri, block of shops in Jabiri. And we have done more than 100 kilometers of road during my tenure. So this is a showcase. If you want to be a leader, you have to be determined and have no fear. You only have fear of God and fear of those that voted for you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. What I get from what you're saying, mentorship is important. Late President Adua gave you a platform, and when you entered as caretaker committee, a caretaker chairman for the LGA, you exemplified excellence delivered, and the people trusted you and gave you more responsibility. And that the local government system is an important place for people to demonstrate leadership. So we will come back to you for you to share more thoughts on that. I hope we are learning something from this experience. So we'll go to Ondo State, Honorable Victor Akinjo, very dynamic, young political leader, started from the student union to NANS to SSA to former President Obasanjo, and now in the House of Representatives, first term, second term, and I know one of the greatest desires of a politician is re-election. So it's re-election. So Honorable Akinjo, share with us, how have you been able to navigate your way as a young man to this point and still traveling far? The young people here aspiring to lead would like to get those things you have done differently to bring you to this level.
Thank you so much. First, let me also thank the former speakers here, the Right Honorable Galinaba, my very good comrade. We're comrade together, comrade Ezewango, and of course, Itodo, and of course, my extension of solidarity to almost everybody here. Just sitting down here, one of my constituents also sent a message that they are watching this program live, Fixing Nigeria. It shows that we also have a profound audience across the globe. Yesterday, I was in Sokoto, and a friend of mine, when we were in Ife in 1999, that's Obafemi Awolowo University, sent me a picture when I was president of the Students' Union of that institution. The picture was quite nostalgic because I saw myself 20 years after plus, was quite young. My face was quite innocent. I saw the people around me extraordinarily very young. Some of them were profiled in positions of responsibilities in this country today. And I looked at them, and that picture was quite striking. I also looked at the picture and I saw my young son, almost the same face. Of course, I've not taken pain to really look at the guy, whether it shares my resemblance. And when I saw the picture, I said, Shegun is looking like me. And what took me into that journey when I became the president of the Students' Union was just an innate, intrinsic, pristine passion. I saw a gap in the way the Students' Union of Obafemi was managed. And I felt that I can be the president of these students, to change the narrative. Of course, if you are not a court member at that time, maybe you cannot even be, but I was not. I was just a member of a student movement, and I was washing my dress, and the inspiration came that you can be the president of these students, And eventually I became the president, winning 11 faculties out of 13 faculties. There you don't spend money. What we spent that time was passion, courage, and capacity and competence to convey what you were able to do. And that's what we did there. No one spent money. No one collected a dime to run. We ran, we won. And that was indeed the foundation of every other thing you see here today. Because when I left the institution, when I became the president, and I had the opportunity of interfacing with Obasanjo, who came to come and lecture us on democracy, and we were leftists. He was a rightist. He came, and then I later met him, and then when he was running, I said, I would like to do 1 or 2 jobs with you. As a former president of Students Union, when I had the opportunity of interfacing with Obasanjo, and I took my first flight to Akwa Ibom with him, and we came back. And they just forgot about me. And I was just helping him to do 1 or 2 things, be like a protocol officer in his house. It wasn't my job, but I had focus. I knew where I was going. And of course, I knew my roots. I knew I was from humble background, no money, nothing. Nobody's going to remember me in this political equation called Nigeria. And the only way was just to see how I could navigate and, conjugate. The man saw me. He was sitting in the middle of the night in his house. And I was quite young. And I was not sleeping. I was restless, nothing. I went to him. I said, you have become the president of this country. I will not go back to Egypt. I will follow you to Israel. The man said, go. In the middle of the night, I was the only one. He said, no, forget about it. What is your problem? He left the house with all his retinues of staff. They left me there. I remained there. One day, they just called me. They said, that was in 1999. Your letter is ready. You can come and work as a personal assistant to the president. I said, on what? I don't know the meaning. And when I got to the office, I created personal assistant to the president on students and youth matters. I defined what I was going to do in the presidential villa. I was in the villa, and then the rest is story. Of course, you served for how many years? Served for 7 years, and then when you were going, the severance was just barely less than 2-3 million. The man left for a young man without any other thing. I'm not incorporated into civil service. But I had the opportunity of meeting a woman in Smedan. I said, she says, we work together, come and work. I said, no, I have worked for almost 7-8 years. I can no longer work as a civil servant. I want to return home to my people. I said I was going, and this Abuja, when you come to Abuja, you are disconnected from your people. So I returned home to become a technical advisor to a chairman of a local government in order for me to find my roots. And everybody who saw that responsibility said, how can somebody who had worked as an essay to Obasanjo come to work as a technical advisor to a local government chairman? But you know what? I had the opportunity to interface, and the guy, Banjo Komo, awarded 3 jobs under Mimiko. I was asked to supervise the job. Today, that job is a reference point in my local government for the rest of eternity. Because we defined the job, we got the job done, we got the road done, we made it possible where there was no road. And today, that is the springboard of my returning to the House of Reps. And now, let me put it to you. The space is usually very combative, combustive, and competitive. Nobody gonna give you any space. When the opportunity to run for the House of Reps came on board, Mimiko, who was the governor of Ondo State then, with a track record of political ideology and intellectual connections with those that are very brilliant. The man saw the effort I made in doing those roads, and he said, if this guy could have done this, let's project this young man And the man gave me ticket for no money. Can you get ticket without money in this country now? He gave me that ticket without money. And when the process was interdicted because of political conspiracy, he stood by me, returned the same ticket to me in People's Democratic Party. And where is this today? Even my leader has left the party, but I remain here. Let me tell you one thing, my brother. Nobody gonna give you any. Freedom is never free. You fought for it. And when I'm given the opportunity to become a member House of Rep under the People's Democratic Party, I believe that I have a personal defined ideology. We are not to be measured by all the things you see on the televisions and newspapers. Some of us, we understand what is this country. This is about the best country in the world. I went to Sokoto, I saw the vast land. I've been to so many people. Not only land we have in massive abundance, we have the best of the people. But the only problem is just getting the space to get the right person to drive this country. You cannot run a country where dollar is skyrocketing and everything in this country is laced around foreign currency. Even the clothes we are wearing.
Thank you so much.
Even the water that we are drinking. The only problem we have is just getting the right people to engender a new Nigeria. That's all. Everything will be fine for all of us. Thank you, boss.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Akinjo. We'll come back to you, but we'll have somebody special joining us in the panel representing the distinguished Senator Philip Aduda, representing the good people of FCT Senatorial District, and the Minority Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate is hereby represented by Honorable MC Ezike, who is Commissioner representing FCT in the Public Complaint Commission. Please, Honorable Ezike, kindly join us on the... You can see he's a youth. Put your hands together for him. Thank you. So moving on, and I'm sure, are we getting something? It's a master class, like we said. We have to, the strategy adopted by Honorable Akinjo, very unique strategy, very unique. Most people who would finish serving as SSA to president of a country, instead of dreaming of going to their state, would rather travel abroad, because of ego. But when you have vision and passion and you know where you are going, you will find the right key and strategy to achieve your goal. And if you want to play grassroots politics, you know that being in the local government system will help you capture every element of political leader in that system. So from what he's saying, our politics, especially for aspirants, is too urbanized. Go home to your village and get the job done. Is that right? All right, so Honorable Alexander Ogwe, somebody is in the House of Reps, and one of the greatest desires of any serving member, whether governor, president, in fact, if it's possible, our president will graduate from Aso Rock to another place. Governors graduate from governorship to the Senate. House of Rep wants to move to Senate or come back to become a governor. Somebody is there in your constituency from Benue State. What are you doing differently to unseat that person? Is this a Ochacha Foundation about politics, or is it about delivering some value to the people as a platform for your political aspiration?
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers of this event. Truth to be told, we're all youth here, and I've listened to different stories being told here today. I want to be the roadmap to a lot of youth seated here today who don't have hope of becoming leaders in their various constituencies, states, and communities. It's a pleasure. And I want to use the opportunity as well to pray for the souls we lost on this day, on the NSAS protest, and may God accept their souls into his kingdom. and may he render mercy upon our land, because Nigeria needs healing, size fixing. And we as individuals need to pray, not waiting for the churches, the mosque, and imams and pastors to do that for us, because the country is ours. Going back to your question now, sir. My journey started this way. People play politics, and people play being a servant. What I tell my peers, and by God's grace, those ahead of me, I don't want to play politics. I want to be a servant to my people. I was not brought up at home. We only go back home during Christmas and during the festive seasons. We play around, we have friends, we see occasionally, but we're never at home. I was never grassrooted. One thing I will tell the youth here today, some people are born leaders. Some people have to learn how to become a leader. If you desire it, you'll get it. For me, I didn't see myself becoming a politician. But after graduating from university and coming back to Nigeria, I looked around, I looked for jobs. After my NYC, I could not get any. A year passed, I still could not get a job. And I realized I had a small tool. I call it my little drug. It healed me out of poverty. It healed me out of laziness. And it healed my soul out of being empty. Was my camera. So I became a photographer. Nobody taught me how to take pictures, but I had to serve. And I had to learn by myself. Nowadays, everything is online. We go on YouTube, we go on online courses. So I studied photography. And this is my 11th year in business in photography. I have brought up young ones like myself and even younger who are also living under me and earning a living through photography. They are not necessarily working for me, but they're also working for themselves. So I thought of it that I am already putting myself as a leader and showing people the way and what to do and what not to do. Why don't I look at making this a bigger scale for me? I should be able to grow this and become something that I will be able to impact and influence people of my youth, of my age, to build them to be stronger than what they are. And my story came about. So this started. And I told a few people around. I went for a wedding. You know, God blesses you where you start a journey. I started my journey of photography, and through that journey, I got blessed. So anything you have at hand is nice to start it so you are not idle. I met a friend of mine. He's in the House of Rep as you speak. We were in Kano. I was covering a wedding. I'll be very brief. And we just kept talking about what Nigeria is and how I want to run away to Canada and start a life with my family. And he was like, but it would have been nice if they were given opportunity to become leaders of this country, so we could do things right. But I said, people are also doing things right, but I don't know why things are not working. But until we get there before we know, right? And we decided that we were going to run for office in 2019. I went back to my home. I told my brothers and friends, and they were like, you don't go home. So how would you go and win an election? And I gave up. He went further. He never did. He went, met his mom, met people. 2 weeks later, he was at my studio taking pictures for his posters. And I was like, did your parents agree? He said, they said you should give it a try. I took his pictures. I collected my money. I was happy with my money, not knowing I had sold my future. And as I speak to you, I saw him online campaigning. And I told him, you're taking this very serious. He said, what can he do? That he's enjoying it now and he's interacting with the people. He left the urban areas and went back home to play local politics. And I never knew God was building me for something. And cut long story short, my friend won his primaries as a first timer, taking out an incumbent. Same age, younger than I was then, probably. And today, as I speak to you, he's a sitting House of Rep member. I lay down on my bed that night and I wept. And I said, God, if you can do this for my friend, an idea we brought together, I know you can do it for me. And the Spirit came into me and I said, I have to serve. I would not be a normal politician, but I'll be a servant to these people. And I went back home. And in going back home, I started looking around, started getting close to politicians, started getting close to the leaders in the communities, and I started getting close to friends around. I started building network. In doing that, I realized my town, which is Otupo, doesn't have some little amenities around. And I looked around and I said, what would it cost to put things together? With God's infinite mercy, He provided. And we started putting street lights. What Otupo has not seen before. As I speak to you today, I have installed 1,000 streetlights in Otupo. And this has been done through the foundation. And in my heart, I knew I wanted to become a leader, but I noticed something different. I noticed the joy from my people that I have never seen before. And this fulfillment in my heart that there is something better and greater that I can do to bring smiles to these people's faces. Even up to the villages that have not seen lights at night, we had put lights almost everywhere. Secondly, I heard someone talking about what you have to do before you start politics. We are also putting down together schools. As I speak to you, I'm building 10-room classroom blocks for a secondary school, same in Otupo. There are a few things you have to put in place. Nobody knew me. I forgot to tell you that back home. They only know of my father, but they never knew who I was. But in doing one or two of these little things and this gesture, they are now welcoming back home as, by God's grace, a leader that could become or come out of something for them. I am not scared. I know he mentioned something that there are people who are there already. All we need as youths is to be focused and to have no fear. Whatever we want in our hearts can be achievable, but we have to be focused and chase our dream. And by God's grace, we'll do so. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Honorable Alex. You know, by protocol, maybe only those who have taken oath of office are called honorable members. But also, by morality, those who do honorable things should be called honorable members. You know? So let's move over to Honorable Builder Yusuf Samsudin. Honorable Yusuf, please share with us how you are engaging the people. First of all, what is your motivation for running for office? And why the House of Representatives? Why not your state assembly? Why not a councillor of your ward? Why not Senate or even President of Nigeria? Why House of Representatives? And what is motivating you to go and take over for the people of Kaduna State and represent them? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank the organizers of this great event for giving us this opportunity to enlighten ourselves and learn from one another. First of all, what I would want to say is that from inception, one needs to understand what his calling is. We all, as human beings, have different callings. Not all of us are meant to be politicians. Some of us are meant to be doctors, some are meant to be lawyers, some are meant, but you need just to understand what your particular calling is and then build on it. Taking myself as a case study, I never wanted to be a politician. Graduating from school, I had never worked for government. I started my own personal business in 2009. We started from building luxury homes here in Abuja, and understanding that I needed to give back to humanity, we now started dabbling into mass housing. The journey was rough when we started. When I came into Abuja, at some point in my life, I was sleeping at the back of my car here in Central Mosque in Abuja. I would wake up in the morning, I would go to the toilets to refresh myself, and then come back and start my journey for the day. Luckily enough for me, I met the then MD of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, who gave me an opportunity that turned me around and made me understand that my calling is to go back into my core business, which is construction. From then, we got a contract to build 50 units of houses in Kaduna under the ministerial pilot project scheme of the Federal Mortgage Bank. And from then, I decided to use that as a tool to give back to humanity. As I speak with you now, there are a lot of civil servants who have served this country. 35 years of their lives, paramilitary, military, and retire without homes to live in. So we're actually concentrating on those individuals. And right now we have built in Kaduna in partnership with the state government about 500 units for civil servants. And we're building more as we speak. But my calling started when I met the likes of Shaibu Sani sitting here. He is now the SA, I feel, to the Nasarawa State governor. They came to me and they wanted me to be the patron of Youth Assembly of Nigeria, Kaduna State Chapter. It was from then that I realized that there's a lot that we can give to the society, especially in terms of leadership. As we all know, there are a lot of decay in the leadership system of the country right now. A lot of sectors do not function as they should. To our greatest surprise, we do not even have an air carrier to take us anywhere that we intend to leave. We have to go through either Ethiopian Air or Air France or Lufthansa, which are all borrowed airlines. In terms of healthcare, you have to leave this country to go and get sound healthcare. In terms of, security, coming from Kaduna State, that is paramount to me. We all know the level of insurgencies and kidnapping that is happening right now. So all of that put together made me realize that if we come together as youth, constituting the greater part of the country, we could actually make things work. Because not just like Sam Itodo said, it's not about being a youth, but it's about identifying competence and capacity. The APC and PDP just finished their Congress, and the trajectory has already been placed for who would succeed as the president of the country. But in my own myopic thinking, it is not supposed to be that way. Whoever is going to lead the country, they should give us the names of these people so we can scrutinize them ahead of time. Let us know what their capacities are. If you're driving an economy of 300 million people, what do you bring to the table? Do you know the right policies to drive the economy? Do you have the right capacity to attract foreign investment into the country? Okay. Export incentives. We cannot continue to rely on oil. What else do we create that we can export to bring back money? That is the only way we can stabilize or bring back down the value of the dollar. We're always complaining that the dollar is high. It would be high. Because the only way that you can stabilize that is to start production. What are we producing? What are we exporting? You see, these are the line of thought that our leaders should incline towards. Not just sharing money. They say, oh, coronavirus has affected everywhere, let's share money. Who has seen money? Who has collected? Nobody. And people are afraid of saying these things because of one repercussion or another. If you hide behind fear, there is no absolute way you would succeed at doing anything. You have to stand firm, okay? You have to know that you are fighting for the generality of the people and not just yourself, not just your pockets. So we need to now scrutinize these leaders. Don't just tell us, oh, the southern governors are saying, oh, leadership should go back to the south. The northern governors will come and sit and say, oh, no, why will leadership go to the south? Sectorial. We are hiding behind ethnic and religious lines. And that is not the trajectory of this country. We need to understand where capacity is, where competence is, and bring it forward to serve our people. In as much as we do not do that, we're going to continue having the same problem, leadership problem we're having today.
I'm Builder Yusuf. I'm sure that the capacity lies where you are.
Well, I mean, not just me. The capacity lies with competent and like minds like me.
For the people of your constituency.
Well, when I ran for office in 2019, I sat with my governor, Malam Nasir Rufai, and I told him, look, Your Excellency, I'm trying to run for office in 2019. And I feel that I have a lot of value that I could add to my people. I ran under Igebi. And the sole reason why I decided to run for office then was because I was not to shoot fires, but I was not happy with the member representing my constituency as at then. And I had a little foundation there in the Gabi where I was sponsoring people, paying for WAEC, paying for NECO, JAM, and what have you. I mean, at some point we would pay for 100, 200 people at a go. Now, the people came to me, and already I had this platform of Youth Assembly of Nigeria. And I felt, okay, if I use that platform to leverage, I could actually come out, change that leadership, and bring the type of value that I want to bring. And that is what led me to running for office. And I mean, I know personally that I won because we settled in court. You know, that only made me stronger, because in 2023, I'm going to come out full force. I would fight double. And
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right. Something that is at the front burner now is the issue of electronic transmission of results and compulsory direct primaries for all parties. And I'll ask each panelist. We know there are problems with our system in Nigeria. A lot of people have complained about the majoritarian system we are practicing as the first past the post, which breeds like winner takes it all. And a lot of people have advocated for professional representation model as a way to ensure inclusion and mainstreaming of both youth and women. Because in proportional system, every party will win a percentage of seats in the parliament. But in this first past the post, even if I run with you and I got 100,000 votes and you got 101 votes, you have won. The 100,000 people's votes are completely wasted. But in where you have proportional system, there will be seat allocation according to the number of votes garnered by political parties.
Yes.
Now, the battle line has been drawn. In the National Assembly, is this electronic transmission of results and compulsory direct primaries a way of easing out the stronghold of the governors, or is it to entrench our democracy? I'll start with Honorable Danduse. What is your view about compulsory direct primaries? How does it help political inclusion and active citizens' participation? Honorable Danduse, sir.
Very much for asking me this question, because this our traditional institution cannot answer this, because we as lawmakers, we know the reasons why we throw that to the masses. The masses are the key, the youth are the key to the success of this. But if at least I came to CPC, I resigned as local government chairman. I joined CPC in 6 days, and I won election with 120,000 votes because it is direct primary. Because if it is delegate issue, you have to have money. You have to have influence of kingmakers who will determine what will happen in their local government or in their states. So we as lawmakers, we think the best way and the only way a common man, a responsible person, a determined person can come into leadership as a governor or as a chairman of local government or as a state assembly or as senator is based on the votes that are supposed to be counted, and nobody can influence what the masses will go on vote in the day of the direct primary election. What is needed, we should have this forum to enhance capacity to our youth, to enhance capacity to our leaders, both the police and the INEC and the rest, to ensure transparent and credible elections in the primary election of the parties. And I'm telling my constituents, despite the fact that I'm in APC, that there is no political party that has name of God. It's only what you have done to the people that will vote for you. So in 2023, nobody in this country will determine what will happen. So as a matter of fact, if you want to contest, you should not sit down in Abuja and think you want to contest election. You have to connect yourself in your locality, in your constituency, so that it will give a good way for you as leaders. And I believe young and vibrant and determined youths that are more conscious and educated and unemployed, if they can put head together, they can choose anybody whom they will sign an agreement under oath with you people in principles and in practical. This is our pattern. This is what we want to move this country for a greater prospect. I think this is the best way, and this is the challenge for you. And another very important issue, which you as civil society organization and who have the country at heart to ensure that in the constitutional amendment, the first thing that is supposed to do is local government autonomy. If there is local government autonomy, I believe this is one of the first restructuring that is needed in this country. If local government are removed from the state governors, if local government's money are removed from state governors' hand, if local government money are channeled towards a good election, that is the federal INEC should conduct election in local government, not the state INEC. Yes. I think these are the things you should engage us as leaders that we will have a credible and a responsible election. Because if you look at the elections that is happening, each and every local government, the state governor will sit down and write the chairman, and that is the end of the
Thank you very much, Honorable. We are advocating for local government autonomy, and we are very strong on advocacy around that. And we also need the National Assembly to do a lot around that with the Conference of Speakers of States. The state assemblies, as you know, has been pocketed, and we hope that they will have an opportunity. But let me go to Honorable Akinjo. We'll come back to you during question. On compulsory primaries, is this a way, compulsory direct primary, is it a way to promote political inclusion and get more people involved? 1 minute, so that we'll go to the audience and get questions, and then we can all respond.
Thank you. Number one, do we as a parliament or National Assembly have the right to alter the electoral act of this country? We have the power to so do, as enshrined in section 228 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. We have the right, and we have done what we are supposed to do. When it comes to the issue of electronic voting, we started this democracy since 1999, and we are 20-something years plus on this saddle. A model was deployed in Edo State with regards to electronic transmission of results. We saw the quickness, the swiftness, and Nigerians were all engaged regards that election. And the result came, everybody could verify the result of the election so quickly. So electronic transmission of results, beyond being enshrined in the Electoral Act, of course, the responsibility of INEC as an independent organization to do. But that is what is most opposite, something most fashionable, and something that can bring about result that is all inclusive. And that is almost being done. And we should salute the National Assembly for taking that vantage responsibility. When it comes to the issue of direct primary, power is derivative from the people. The owner of this power is the people. And the political party is just warehousing this power when it comes to the issue of primary. I've been to 3 primaries. One, I never spent money. The second one, I did not spend money because my governor was almost giving me for free. But the third one, where there was no governor, I spent fortune to win. And that was indirect primary. The delegates at that particular time are delegates. I really don't want to say this because many of them might be watching me back at home and they might be waiting for me. But the reality is this: it has consequences and it has advantages. It's quite easier to manage that small 200 people, even with volume of resources involved. When it comes to indirect primaries, your popularity is quite significant. Your relationship and engagement with the people is very, very germane. What have you done for the people? What have you offered? What is your relationship? What's your engagement? So for me, we are prepared for any primaries that will give us opportunity to begin to continue to serve and engage our people.
Thank you, Honorable. Now, but the question that proponents of direct primaries have not answered is when all the party members you are now to engage decide that they have a price for their votes. If all the party members, like the delegate system, decide to say, like in general election, our voters card is no longer 2,000, it's 100,000. And you have 1 million members, like APC in Zamfara said they have registered 1 million members in Zamfara State. If all of them who are to vote in direct primary say,
even when you look at it holistically, vis-a-vis the revenue and the resources of a nation, because INEC, police, military, all will have to be involved. It's quite nebulous and cumbersome. But what is democracy? Democracy is about the people. If we can do it in general election, you can also do it in indirect general election.
all right, thank you.
So I don't think it's a big deal here.
We'll come.
People
Let's
will
go
not take too much money if they know that you are with them.
Let's go to Honorable Commissioner MC Ezekiel. Now, aside representing distinguished Senator Philip Adua here, you're also a commissioner at the Public Complaint Commission, and you're of the Bagi youth. You advocate for better governance and order. We are all in FCT, whether we are Bagi or not. This is our federal capital territory. All the youth here are part of the FCT. What are you doing differently for youth inclusion in political process and governance? 1 minute. When questions come, you can answer more. Sorry.
1 minute.
But you know now.
Injustice. Anyway, my name is Dalhatu Ezekiel Musa, the Commissioner Public Complaints Commission FCT. I think people need to know a little about me before I dive into the issue at hand. First, I'm a Bagi by tribe from FCT, Kuje Area Council, Darka Village. Just like you will call your place, your village. This is my village. I have no any other place to go aside FCT. All my life, I have been a politician and an activist. I was born an activist because my mother once told me that I protested even when I came to life. As a child, I didn't cry. Instead, I was smiling. And then at a point, I think 6, 7 months, somehow my grave was dug to be buried, only for one old man to say, never bury him yet, he's still alive. And then it's a whole lot of story. But even at the university, I schooled at the University of Kefe, Natural State University. In my 200 level, I noticed we had no SUG, and then we were paying SUG levy in our school fees. And so I went to court and I said, I don't understand what's happening. We need to have the SUG. And then somehow the ban was lifted and all that. So all through my life, it's been struggle. For the FCT, I was the leader of the indigenous people of the FCT, the coalition of FCT indigenous associations. And then I have led too many protests advocating for the rights of the people of the FCT, ranging from the land grabbing forcefully, even by Nigerian military and all other places and all of that. And then the insignificant representation at the national space, and then the somersault, and then how the constitution is being tilting to sideline us and all of that. Senator Aduda, let me first start to bring his goodwill message that he ought to have been here in person just to greet and then encourage us to do what we're doing, because he's a youth-driven leader. He lost his father the early hours of today. I think at the course of the event, we may grant him that honor by observing a minute silence for him. He's a bishop, late Bishop Tanimu Samari Aduda. He was a bishop of Diocese of Anglican Gwagwalada, and he's been there. So Aduda is one person that likes the youth. Recently, he told me he regretted some of his action because over the years, the appointment into federal institution has been the old people. And then he wasn't getting the result he needed. And that informed how I emerged as Commissioner Public Complaints Commission, because he said he wants to change the narrative. So he's not here, but his support is with us as youth, and he's urging us to keep doing what we are doing for a better and a greater Nigeria. On my own part now, please, quickly, I checked the statistics and history of great leaders in Nigeria. When they emerged leaders, what age were they? They would tell you Yakubu Gowon became the president of Nigeria at the head of state at the age of 29. Check Bukola Saraki, how old was he when he was a governor? Check Obasanjo, how old was he when he was head of state? Babangida, how old was he when he was head of? And you can go on and see that these people were quite young when they clinch power and become leaders. What is wrong with our own? That we are comfortable with 60, 70, 80 years old people in power. And then we'll come back and be lamenting and recycling lamentation as youths. Who do they use to go to clinch into power? It is the same youths. No politician will go and mobilize old people. They mobilizes the youths to get whatever they want. On this issue, since you said they will come back to me, direct and indirect, I think it's not issue of whether direct or indirect. I will tell you the experience we had in FCT when the APC were doing direct primaries in 2019, sir. They were counting 1, 2, 3. When they get to 10, they will go to 20 without 21. They will go to 40 without 40, without 31. They will go to 50, 60, 80, and all that. And then we heard that one word came with 60,000 votes, whereas the human being there may not be up to 10,000.
Thank you.
So I don't think the issue is direct or indirect.
Thank you.
The issue is.
I will come back. I will come back to you. And you're actually right. In a rerun election, there was a by-election in Aba North and South Federal Constituency. One of the parties that conducted direct primaries, their candidates scored 47,800. In the general election, that same candidate scored 2,800. So we have a lot of things to fix about direct or indirect. So let's go to the audience for questions. And please, we will not allow for comments, just question, direct question, because it's supposed to be a learning curve for us who are aspiring political leaders, so that from here we go back home to make changes. And by the way, former Speaker Yakubu Dogara, I understand, sponsored 30 young people from his constituency to be here to participate in this Fixing Nigeria conference. So, are you here? Those of you from Bauchi, please, can you stand up? Give them a round of applause. All right, sit down. All right, so please, if you have a question, indicate by show of hand. Make sure that it's a question that will help this particular session and not another cycle of lamentation, because the book of lamentation has been closed. All right, so sir, 1, 2. So you are behind the 3. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's okay. 7 is a good number. to help us make it a question, 30 seconds question. Even if your honorable member is here, don't greet him after you greet him. So please, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Marcos Michel Musa. My question is, why do we have the same leaders who led Nigeria 61 years ago being the same leaders we have today?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Smart. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Comrade John Thomas Boka. I'm the secretary to the Kagarko Youth Progressive Forum. I am here this morning to ask, since the Honorable has actually told us that religion, that during sharing of money, religion is not always there. So how can you advise, what is your advice to the youth when these politicians come back to the youth and try to use religion as a yardstick to get to where they want to get? That's number two. Number two.
You have one. Because,
sorry, number two, sir.
No, if this national cake will go around, your one question is okay. Thank you very much. The next person, please.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moderator. My name is Ahmed Aliyu, and I'm the SA Media to the National Directorate of Integration and Partnership, National Council of Nigeria. I haven't heard what my leaders here have said about the direct, what's it called, primaries, right? You know, I don't have a problem with that. I just want to ask a question because it is pernicious in our society right now. You know, you see a politician loses a primary election under APC, meaning that the people have voted him out. That same person is going to PDP for this, and you see the party will accept that same politician to come and have another primaries in a different. What is the National Assembly doing to stop this, please? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, all, or good afternoon. My name is Abubakar Mohammed Karma. My question goes to Honorable Mutare Dandusi. As a member, House of Representatives representing Funtua Dandume Federal Constituency, and you are presently the Chairman House Committee on Agriculture, what are you doing differently in making sure that you involve all the youth in your constituency, most especially in agriculture? One.
Thank you
Second,
very much. No, one is okay.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Godpower Simeon, and my question goes thus. While the lady councillor was speaking, you had mentioned that we intend to put plans in place to make sure that both votes are not being bought. And then just recently in a campaign for an election in Anambra, somewhere in the east, one of the candidates said that he's going to speak to the people in the language they understand, which is money. So I want to know, after this, because we intend to create new ideologies in the hearts of young people. So after this conference, what plans will be put in place to implement everything that we'll get to learn in the course of the conference? Thank you very much.
Thank
you. Honorables, my name is Mayo Olajide Akinle. And earlier today, I asked and I requested and said, what measurable steps can we take to improve internal democracies of political parties and
Thank
systems?
you.
I'm not like, it's a prelude to the question. And
you are asking how to improve internal democracy in political parties.
I asked before.
Did you receive answers?
That's where I'm heading to, sir. Let me finish, please. I'll finish, sir. Okay. And the policies that has been implemented by the House of Assembly in ensuring direct primaries is one of those steps that can help us. What other systems are you then building to ensure that that direct primary system is handled fairly and across board standardized for all political parties?
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
My question goes directly to Honorable Danduse. Your profile has actually signified that you have held quite a lot of positions from chairman to House of Reps. Now, and you seems to be a youth-driven personality. What modalities are you putting on ground to hand over your power to the next youth, precisely through 2023 coming election? What modalities are you putting on ground?
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Great Nigerian youth. Great Nigerian youth. Great. Please, we are in a democracy. Don't be clapping for such a thing. Somebody that is in power has right to contest again. It is you that has right to mobilize to unseat him. He will not put modality in place to get that. So he will answer the question anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Wenyim Anthony. I'm from Ebonyi. And my question goes directly to the two sitting in the House of Representative members, the two legislatures. We have had the wonderful impact you're making in your constituencies. And when it comes to the Nigeria affair, Nigeria is our general constituency. And from the ongoing discussions, it is very obvious that the major problem of this country is leadership. And I want to tell you that this leadership challenge starts from the electioneering process. It is from the election that we elect people. Instead of us to elect those we choose to represent us, they manipulate the process, and then at the end of the day, bring people that we don't even know where they come from. And from there, we have all the challenges we are having in the country, ranging from banditry, kidnapping.
Give us your
So
question.
what I want to ask, from the ongoing, if you wake up in the night sleeping and remember the way things are going in the country, can you beat your chest and say you are doing enough to rewrite the narration?
Thank you.
Ranging from this security. And also for the fact that if there is any issue in this country and you are to head to the court, before the judgment, we already know who is going to win. So are you saying you are doing your best to make sure that the situation is a different thing?
Thank you. Hello. For those remember that because you have traveled from far and wide to come here to learn and participate, we counted only 7, and we are allowing a lot of people to ask. And the young man at the back is the last person we're going to, take his question. All these people, we wrote them, followed them up. They left their programs just to come here to share knowledge and experience with us. They are not our problem. We are all our problem. So let's focus on question, 30 seconds, question direct that can help the
thank you very
audience.
much.
Thank you.
I am Godiya Manasseh. I am a beneficiary from Right Honorable, as you just said, Honorable Yakubu Dogara. Just want to thank him for giving me the opportunity to come here today. My question here goes to our honorables that are here. We talk about autonomy. Early this year, we heard that Baba Buhari is going to post money direct to local government chairmen. But all of a sudden, we did not see that. And it's affecting us from the grassroots. When that money is posted direct to our local government, I believe we are going to see a benefit of democracy. And we believe people can do more. People should go ahead and do more and just violate the law, post it direct to the account of the local government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. My name is Abubakar Ibrahim. They call me People's Senator. I want to say this. I am coming from Voice of Nigerian Youth. Voice of Nigerian Youth, just like the name implies. A lot of us are tired because this period, the youth are more frustrated than before. This period, so many things are highly cost than before. The rise of 8,000 naira today is so high. So my question goes like this. Why is it that when our leaders, the fine gentlemen that I'm looking their face, anytime they are talking to us on issues, they don't bring a religion. But when they want to talk about issues that concern them to come back, they talk about religion, tribalism. They talk about where you're coming from. And this is what is separating us. I'm an Igbo man. I'm an Hausa man.
The
I am this,
question,
that.
please.
Sir, why, if you people can have the guts to alter the constitution on the electoral process, people should have the guts to alter the constitution to make sure that tribalism, religion issue is dead. Thank you.
Please,
Good
30
afternoon.
seconds. 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Question.
My name is Jamil Muhammad Ayama. My question is that the youth we are today about the money, about money in politics. Most of the youth, they are not looking for the quality of leaders today. They are always looking for what this leader is coming to share among the communities. So what role can you play in making some awareness to the people that money is not what we are looking for in terms of leadership today, but we are looking for qualitative leadership, not a leader who is going to come to build a hospital, road, infrastructure facility, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Omar Ismail. My question go like this, to especially the honorable member presenting here. Last time we heard about Mr. President complaining about the governors, that the major challenge we have in this country are the governors, that the money is sent to the governors, it did not reach the local government level. And sometimes we heard about the former governor complain about the leaders of the country. We heard about the senators complain about the leaders of the country. What message the leaders, especially the honorable here, sir, what message are you giving us if every leader are complaining about the leader of the country? The president is complaining about the governor. I have heard about the former governor complaining about the leader. The senator is complaining about the leadership.
Next person,
what is the challenge? You should tell us what is the real challenge that the audience needs to know. Thank you.
We got your question.
Good afternoon. My name is Obafemi Chajegede. My question is to all the leaders here. What are we doing to close gender gap in Nigeria? The gender gap in Nigeria is
Thank you
alarming.
very much. Gender gap. What are we doing? So, yes.
Profound respect to the dignitaries on the high table. Sunny Akingwandere from Ondo State. My question is actually going to a very good honorable from Ondo State, Honorable Kolade Akinjo. So while we're talking, you talked about the fact that you were a core activist, that's a leftist, as a matter of fact. So I'd just like you to establish a nexus between, a core activist and a politician. I'd like to know how you successfully connected both and that you actually got to this level.
Thank you.
That's my question. Sunday Akingbondere.
Good afternoon. All. My name is Matthew Walshat Sebastian. My question is, most of the time from the television, radio stations, you notice conferences like this are being put in place to checkmate or to make sure Nigeria is fixed, and you'll be getting lots of points from viewers, from those contributing, and at the end we don't see the effect, the positive effect back to the society. Is it that government are just calling us together to put us in one place to ask us how do we move this country or what?
No,
So
the
what,
government call you come here. Now your fellow youth to call you come.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Comrade Idachaba Yusuf Ibrahim. I'm Director of Helpers Charity Foundation. My question is, how do you represent your people effectively without being subservient to the person that bankroled your election? Thank you very much.
Very much. All right. Before I go to the panel for responses, we have two questions from our Zoom participants. And this is from Udo. He said, how can we create a sustainable system where youth participation in politics can be sustained, but not a one-year thing? And from Joshua Tabki, he said, young people running for office is about fresh, young, and energetic mindset with a perspective of having a shift from the usual leadership ideology we have had over time, aimed at creating the change that should each us to a brighter future. These are two questions from, so a lot of questions has been asked, and we don't have time for you to address them one by one. So I will run through the panel and you will just answer them together. And each panelist will have just 2 minutes to respond to any of the questions that have been directed to you. I will start from Honorable Commissioner MC Michael, and I'm going to check time. And I know you are going to be honorable and democratic enough to use only 2 minutes. Honorable sir.
Okay, sincerely speaking, I must express my dismay from some of the questions we received. Because if this is how we're going to fix the nation, Nigeria, then it's so worrisome. People are asking questions that we need to be asking ourselves. Whoever you see here that is in the power or in any position, in any place of position, did not just go there at the platter of gold. There are so many things going on today that we need to own up and change the narrative ourselves. The problem we're having is the person who is a councillor is thinking a chairman will fix the problem. Then the chairman is thinking the commissioner, the minister will fix the problem. And the minister, the commissioner, whoever is thinking the governor will fix the problem. And then the governor will be crying to thinking the president will fix the problem. So at the end of the day, nobody fixes the problem. We need to fix this thing ourselves, and it has to be from us. How many youths are in the position of leadership at different political parties, starting from ward chairman? Till today, the youth, the day they want to do, they are strategizing to do congresses of party, you hardly can see the youth around. It is still these old folks that will be gathering, strategizing, doing meetings. And they will still put themselves in that position of authority at the party level from the grassroots, which is the ward level. The only thing they will give the youth is a youth leader. In fact, I saw a 60-year-old man as a youth leader. And the youth were clapping and moving up and down. Then we are asking questions as if it's somebody's doing. We just need to be deliberate about changing the narrative when it comes to politics. And so if at the party level we can't get it, forget the strategy you want to apply.
Thank you very much. It's 2 minutes. Thank you.
Is
Thank
it up
you.
to 2 minutes already?
Yes, it is. I'm looking at it. In fact, that 60-year-old man you mentioned, he will go and shave very well. So he will be a good youth leader. That's what we see. All right, Builder, Honorable Yusuf. 2 minutes.
Okay, well, I would like to answer the question of, or attempt to answer the question of electronic voting as opposed to manual. I believe from the state where I come from, Kaduna State, we have piloted the electronic voting. And so far, it is not news that even the governor of my state lost in his own word. That is to show that we're not saying it is 100% accurate, but it shows that there is a bit of improvement from where we're coming from. My honorable here is explaining to me how it is being done, that the governor will sit, if it is manual, write these things and dish it out to the public. But if it is electronic, you know, it is garbage in, garbage out. What goes in is exactly what comes out. So I believe we cannot continue to use one model of strategy. When we apply and reapply and it doesn't function, we change another strategy. I believe it is time for us to look inwards, search for better models to upgrade the political and voting system of the country. Electronic voting, I mean, is a fresh start. So we can start from there and then build on it. I believe that competence would speak for itself when there's nobody who is infiltrating the system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Danduse, thank you so much for coming. They have asked a lot of questions because, of course, you know, as a serving member, you will get a lot of questions, but you may not answer all. Just attempt to respond because you are not on hot seat. You only came here to support us, but do as much as you can to respond.
Okay, thank you very much. I think what bothers me most is the youth need to be united, and they have to know that all that it will take, you have nothing to lose if you try in every great attempt. It's even glorious to fail. But this time, if you look at what we are saying, recycling leadership that based on what somebody said and the issue of why we are recycling leadership. Some are good to be recycled because they are performing wonderfully. Some are not good. They know how to buy themselves in. So if leaders that are not credible, they are not even listening to the masses, they are not even bringing dividend of democracy. So they need to be voted out. Another issue which is very fundamental, the acts of money politics is one of the key problems we have. If we can shun away from money politics, I think we can move this country forward. And I will stand to agree with my respected traditional institutions we have here. If INEC will conduct credible direct primary election, it will be a thing of the past because you will vote based on consent. You may find people from different diversity, as what somebody was saying, that if at least we'll come with a law that to remove religion or tribe or anything in terms of politics. If you look at Nigeria, the three tribes are the dominant tribes in most of the politicking in Nigeria. That is Hausas, Yorubas, and Igbos. And most of the tribes that we have, they have a lot of credible leaders. They can provide good leadership and good governance because we have seen what is happening in, as regard to the system. What is important, if the youth can work very hard, I think it will resolve most of this lingering problem. And another issue which is directly on me is on agri-production and services. I want to urge the youth to embrace agriculture because agriculture is the key to success. And if you look at the system now, in each and after this COVID-19, Nigeria has tried its best to feed itself. So if at least we can embark on agricultural system, and as a lawmakers, we came out with about 3 laws into existence, which one was ascended by the president and commander-in-chief. That is the PBC bill. And also I sponsored pesticide bill because of the problems we are having with most of the export oriented food items we have in this country. Because pesticide bill has to deal with most of the herbicide and other chemicals as regard to that.
Thank you.
What I do in my constituency, if you want to have more information, that one is you can come to me directly.
Thank you.
Or go and link on into my constituency. You may know better. There is one person who asks it.
Thank you so
And I
much.
want to advise the youth. They can be in our position of authority. So they should respect those that are in a position of authority, because you don't want to be challenged in one day. And if you don't like a leader, you can vote him out before 2 o'clock, because it's a matter of voting and making sure that your vote was counted.
Thank
That
you
is
very
the most
much.
fundamental
Thank
aspect
you.
of any
Honorable
politics.
Kolade, please.
Thank you. For me, I would just want to emphasize on the need for the young people to take ownership of the democratic space. When you take ownership of what you have, you will defend that thing you have with what you even don't have. So ownership of the democratic space is fundamental. When you take ownership, you know who to vote for. You know who not to vote for. When you take ownership, you will learn fundamentals about your nation. You will learn about what is happening, what the president is doing, what the National Assembly is doing, what they are not doing well. And of course, that will take us to building the right institution. Every democracy will survive on fundamentals of institutional building. When you build an institution, that has to even do with the kind of democratic process you enunciated, like the issue of the direct primary. It's about building institution. Our democracy cannot be built around individual. Our democracy must be built around institution that will survive even the president or the political party that is available. And that will take us to the issue of either religion or otherwise. It's strengthening the institution. When you strengthen institution, people will no longer be talking about religion. Religion or whatever is just a means of underdeveloping a nation. A nation must be focused on technology, on employment. Let me tell you, when we were fighting the military, we were united as a nation. And at that particular time, the military was just like an enemy. In democracy today, you must be further united to fight unemployment. You must be further united to fight division of a nation. You must be able to fight, you must be united to fight institutions that are not working, including corruption. Now, if somebody is saying, what have you done differently as an activist and that has brought you to now become, you are now a politician? The difference is just who you are. What are you working on your passion? If you're a business, because it's not about election alone. Democracy is a combination of so many things. Election is just one part of it. Economy is part of democracy. Politics is part of democracy. Stability, unity, nation building, women, everything's all involved. Take your passion. Work with your passion. Run with your passion. Never ever believe that you will not fail. But it's not the number of times that you fail. It's the number of times that you rise. That's what Awolowo said.
Thank you.
You can fail 1,000 times, but you can always succeed once. And that success will cover your failure.
Thank you
My
very
brother,
much.
I wish you well.
Thank you, Honorable Alexander Ogbe. 2 minutes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. I want to recap on the question on leadership. I've not been in place of office yet, but I want to assure everyone here is a leader in their own capacity. I would like to talk about family. Most of us here, if not all of us, are leaders. You can be the first child, you're a leader of the rest. You can be captain of the industry, you're already a leader. You don't need to become a politician to be a leader. So if we complain and we castigate those in politics and power that they are not leading us well, we should look at ourselves. How many of us are leading our families right? If we start from family, and I believe, which will make that the office of the citizens of the nation, we can build a better nation. Because if we can work towards that, we build up to meet up to where our leaders who are in politics are, and they can build downwards so we can meet at equilibrium. So that will build us and help us fix Nigeria better. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Put your hands together for our panelists. Let me say this. When we organize conferences like this, it's not for us to finish with a communique and go and mandate certain individual or government or agency to do something for us. No. When we organize conferences like this, it's to enlighten ourselves, educate ourselves, equip ourselves, build our capacity to become active citizens so that we can go to our own community and domain and make changes by ourselves. It's not another person that will make a change for us. Nobody will buy form for you if you're a young person. You should aspire to buy the form yourself. Without active citizenship, Even if you are in a community, if you don't belong to a political party, no direct primaries right for you. You cannot vote. You may admire a party. You may love a party. You may even have the polo or t-shirt of PDP and APC, but that will not confer voting right on you. So it's important that we understand our stake and obligation and responsibility towards political process in the country. Nobody else has that responsibility for us. We have that responsibility for ourselves. Nation building is a collective word, responsibility. Go home to your community, go home to your domain, make impact and change in that area, and we will all collectively build our nation. And with that, I want to thank very distinguished members of the panel. Thank you for leaving so much to come and share thought with us. Honorable Obwe is now my friend, and I hope by June 11, 2023, he will be taking oath of office. I hope to see Honorable Kolade again. He's vibrant, he's smart. I hope to see Honorable Danduse again. Even if one of them becomes speaker, don't you think that fixing Nigeria has achieved something, right? I hope to see Honorable Yusuf Mohammed, and of course, our Public Complaint Commission Commissioner. I know that he will do exploits. Let's rise for a group photograph, and please appreciate the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to implore that you please remain seated. We still have just about one or two more activities to wrap up before we leave. And our dear honorables will also like to request that you kindly give us a few more minutes of your time, as we would like for you to present some of the awards that we'll be giving out today. Thank you so much for your time and your patience. Moving on straight up to the award ceremony, I would like to call on the personnel, the Director of Programs at the Ernest and Ibrahim Foundation, Dieke, Kalu, Marianne, as she calls up the awardees to receive the awards, or rather the recipients of the awards this afternoon. Ms. Dieke, Marianne.
Very well.
Please, can we have our seats? Can we be orderly? Thank you very much. Can we kindly be orderly? Thank you. Our honorables are still here, so let us respect protocol. Thank you very much. Thank you, our dear honorables, for obliging our request to present some of these awards. All right, Ms. Dieke.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and we want to say a big thank you for staying with us up until this time. Right now, we would like to present awards to some of our speakers who have been with us from the inception in 2017 when we had the first Fixing Nigeria conference. And in no particular order, I'll be reading out the citations of the awardees, and as we call them up, please give them a round of applause. Thank you. So first on my list will be Builder Shamsuddin MD Yusuf. He's a great leader and visionary, and has often been described as highly ambitious and a detail-oriented manager, possessing traits that has seen him serve as the managing director of Reno Construction and doubles as the VP Africa region of Green Technologies Financial. The excellence of a builder, entrepreneur, philanthropist is even recognized by the title Bulaman Zazao. A round of applause, please. and would call on Honorable Dandute to present this award to him. So we have Mr. Ihua, Elenwo Ihua, has obtained degrees from Coventry, Oxford, and Stellenbosch, testament of his vast experience in leadership, strategic planning, and inclusive development. He has previously served as an executive director of operations at NERFund and is currently with the Central Bank of Nigeria, where he currently serves as the deputy director of development finance department. And we would like to call on Honorable Kinjo to present this award. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Elenwo Ihua. Yeah, I can get the name.
All right. To receive the reward on behalf of Mr. Elenwo Ihua is Mr. Iroy Orji.
Our next awardee is architect Walter Okoye, a serial entrepreneur, business coach, architectural consultant, and a real estate developer. Walter Ikenna Okoye has shown excellence in everything he does. His affiliation with the Africa Entrepreneurship Advantage Initiative is also a testament of his innate desire for human capacity development and management, which has seen him help grow many local businesses with the big picture of a collective national economic growth. To present this award, we'll call on Mr. Alexander Obe. Architect Walter Okoye, please. A round of applause for him. So the next award is for the Premium Times, Mr. Dapo Oloriyomi. He is a publisher and editor-in-chief of Premium Times and the executive director of Premium Times Center for Investigative Journalism. He was the policy director and chief of staff to the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In 2005, he founded the Wole Soyinka Investigative Reporting Award, now called Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, a nonprofit organization engaged in social justice and investigative journalism with the goal of exposing corruption, regulatory failures, and human rights abuses. To present this award, we will call on the convener of the Fixing Nigeria Group, Mr. Obi Nwosu, to present this award. A round of applause for Dapo Oloriyomi. Thank you so very much for staying with us through the award segment. Right now, we'll be cutting the celebration cake for Fixing Nigeria 4.0. We would like to call on all our speakers who are still here with us to join us on stage.
Please, our first session panelist, if you're still here, kindly join us up on stage. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Shola Olakpade, please join us on stage, sir. Thank you very much. Hmm? Oh, we'd also like to call on Uzo Ayodeji from UNFPA to please join us up on stage as we cut this cake. And this is for the team members of Ernest and Ibrahim Foundation to be on standby. You'll also be taking a picture with the cake as well. And to everybody who doesn't get a chance to be up here on stage, don't worry, you will be getting a portion of the cake. It will be going around very soon. So please bear with us. You can bring out your phones, take pictures, post it on social media. Remember the hashtags, hashtag Fixing Nigeria 4.0, hashtag We Move, hashtag We Will Not Forget, hashtag Nigeria Will Be Better. He's here. Oh, okay. We'd also like to, some of our awardees who are also still around, kindly join us up on stage for pictures. Thank you very much. The directors at Ernest and Ibrahim Foundation, please, can you join us up on stage here? Okay, it's fine. I'll be all right. So together we're going to spell Nigeria. Are we ready? All the faith and love you have for Nigeria, I want you to put it to those letters. Give me an N and an I, a ginger G, economical growth E. Give me an R, another I, and an A. Nigeria. Let's put our hands together for our dear beloved country. We're going to see Nigeria get better in our time, and we'll leave a good legacy for our children. Thank you very much to all our speakers, our panelists, our awardees, our directors at Ernest and Ibrahim. We appreciate you. Moving on, without wasting any time, I'd like to call on the Director of Projects, Ernest and Ibrahim Foundation, Rukaya Ibrahim, for a closing remark and vote of thanks. Please get, oh, okay, you're here already. The one you can remember. The one you can remember.
Okay, so.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, I saw you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Fine, thank you. Do I need just a topic? Just that's right. That's the reason why I
Please hold on. We have closing remarks. Where is Honorable?
Please, can we have your attention, please? Can we have your attention? Can I have everyone's attention, please? We'll just take a closing remark and the national anthem, and we're done. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we want to thank everyone for coming out today. This is our fourth session, and every year you guys keep turning up. And without this encouragement, this wouldn't have been continued. And our speakers that we always reach out to and are very consistent, we can't thank you enough, because without you, this wouldn't have been possible. To the delegates that come in every year consistently, we want to thank you for your courage and for your love for this great nation. You have to remember that nothing about us without us is for us. So we need to stand up and take up spaces. Nigeria will be great, I know it, because from us organizers of this great event, from the volunteers, from the speakers that come without us paying them, from the volunteers that walk in since 6 a.m. till now, you could see that the passion and zeal to drive this nation. So somehow, one day, Nigeria will be great, and I know it, and I see it in all of all and each one of us that are here today. So thank you so much, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. All right, the rest of us who are still here, I can see that the cake is going around, but because of time, we'll just go straight to closing with the national anthem. Media, please, may we have the national anthem so that we close with that. Thank you so much. You have all been amazing. Thank you. Please can we rise on our feet? Thank you so, so much. Media, are you ready? This time around, we're not going to hum it. We will sing it. Even if you mumble the words, it's fine. We're going to sing it with faith, with resolve that we're going to do our part and let those words make meaning to you as they come out of your mouth. We say a big amen to that. Thank you very much, media. You have done exceedingly well. To everybody who has come, please ensure that as you go out, you grab a piece of cake and get a drink. Thank you so much. You have all been amazing. Remember, post pictures on social media. Remember to tag Ernest and Ibrahim Foundation. Remember to tag Fixing Nigeria on all socials. Enjoy the rest.